everything's never been, we are going to start with a special meeting in Council, July 14th, 2025. This is a special demolition meeting, which is a question, any questions, it's regarding 5727 Leger. Do I think PC on I wish PC on. Testing. Welcome. So I have with me today, to my right, Councillor Leo Azarad, Councillor Andy Schuster, Councillor Oren Sabag, Councillor Dita Burko, myself, Mayor Mitchell Brownstein, Councillor Mitch Kajaski, Councillor Sidney Benisri, our City Manager Jonathan Schechter, and Councillor Mike Cohen, and Pascal Tanguay, our City Clerk for today, Director of Legal Services. So, Councillor Kajaski, if there's no questions, I guess we'll go.
All right. Okay, I'll start and we'll wait for the image to come up. Can I skip the preamble? Or should I read the preamble? All right. 5727.
5727 Leger.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. Yeah, it's not that bad. Read it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas the Planning Advisory Committee has considered the following application and has made its recommendations to the City Council, whereas the Demolition Committee of the City of Côte Saint-Luc, being the Côte Saint-Luc City Council, has carefully considered the application for a certificate of authorization for the demolition of 5727 Leger, whereas the Demolition Committee has reviewed all submissions related to the said application, whereas the evaluation of the existing building has been determined at $226,700, whereas the applicants intend to use the land located at 5727 Leger to build a new two-story detached single-family dwelling and have thus submitted preliminary architectural drawings, whereas the Demolition Committee has reviewed the preliminary architectural drawings that were presented to the PAC on May 13, 2025, prepared by Agapi Alt Architects, SENC, and agreed by majority that the proposed new building integrates well into the streetscape and surroundings on Leger Avenue. Whereas, should the Demolition Committee award the certificate of authorization, the decision regarding the approval of the minor exemption request for the secondary front setback, building height, and parking spaces will take place during the regular public council meeting of today, July 14th, 2025. Whereas no evidence has been presented to demonstrate that the proposed demolition would cause disruptions to the neighborhood that are any greater than the normal inconveniences associated with such a demolition. Whereas no evidence has been presented that the proposed demolition would cause any other undue prejudice to the neighbors. Whereas all the procedures established by the City of Côte Saint-Luc have been met when considering the present application. Whereas Article 148.012 of the Act respecting land use planning and development states, if the committee grants the authorization, it may impose conditions for the demolition of the immovable or the utilization of the vacated land. Whereas Article 15 of Bylaw 2345, being the bylaw governing the demolition of buildings of the City of Côte Saint-Luc, states that the Council shall render its decision in conformity with the criteria delineated in Article 7 of the present bylaw, as well as any other pertinent criterion, and provide, as the case may be, for the conditions to be satisfied in addition to the conditions provided in the present bylaw. Council shall also take into consideration the information furnished under the requirements of Article 5 of this bylaw. Therefore, it is resolved that the City of Côte Saint-Luc's Demolition Committee grants the certificate of authorization for the demolition of the existing detached single-family dwelling located at 5727 Leger, situated on cadastral lot number 1052924, approves the prospectus for the new two-story detached single-family dwelling proposed as per the preliminary architectural drawings that were presented to the PAC on May 13, 2025, and prepared by Agapi Alt Architects, SENC. You see them up there now. Yep. So the new proposed is, well, you'll see all from all angles in the middle images and the image on the right. That the granting of the said demolition and approval of the said prospectus are contingent upon the following conditions: that prior to issuance of the certificate of authorization, the necessary monetary guarantee of $45,340 be obtained pursuant to Bylaw 2345, the whole within the 30 days following the date of this decision. The applicant's RBQ licensed contractor will furnish the City of Côte Saint-Luc with proof of insurance, which is satisfactory to the city. The applicant submits all required documents and drawings for the demolition work and reconstruction work to the City of Côte Saint-Luc, including but not limited to the following: permit application form, certificate of authorization, architectural drawings for permit, existing demolition and construction, signed and sealed by an architect, or by a professional architectural technologist, member of the Ordre des Technologies Professionnelles du Québec. Structural drawings for permit, signed and sealed by a structural engineer, member of the Order of Engineers of Quebec. Mechanical and electrical plans, signed and sealed by an engineer, member of the Order of Engineers of Quebec. Excavation plan in preparation for the new building, landscaping plans, proposed site plan, samples of exterior cladding materials, detailed construction cost estimate, and description of work. Payment of applicable fees for the certificate of authorization, payment of applicable construction permit fees, payment of a $5,000 refundable damage deposit due and payable prior to the issuance of the certificate. This deposit is an estimate in case of damages caused to public property during demolition and construction work. If the deposit is not enough to cover the cost of the damages, an invoice will be sent to the owner for the entire balance owed. After issuance of the certificate of authorization, the certificate of authorization will become null and void if the demolition work does not start within 90 days after issuing the certificate and is not completed within 120 days after starting the demolition work, pursuant to Article 17 of Bylaw 2345, being the bylaw governing the demolition of buildings of the City of Côte Saint-Luc. The construction delays for the new building be 12 months from the time the building permit for the new dwelling is issued, pursuant to Article 5.1.11 of Bylaw 2593, being the construction bylaw of the City of Côte Saint-Luc. The demolition work and all reconstruction work must be conforming to the demolition bylaw 2345 and the construction bylaw 2593. Hours to perform demolition work and all reconstruction work are from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. during work days, Monday to Friday. No work is permitted during weekends and statutory holidays. The construction site and the adjacent public property must be maintained according to Article 4.1.1 of the construction bylaw 2593 during the demolition work and all reconstruction work. In the event that the construction site or adjacent public property is not properly maintained, an invoice representing any costs incurred will be sent to the owner. The construction site must be protected by a fence conforming to Article 4.1.2 of the construction bylaw 2593. Existing trees must be protected during the demolition work and all reconstruction work. I think there's a tree being felled. Is there a tree being felled? Is there a tree being felled? I don't remember. It's staying, I think. Yeah, no, the tree on the left, I think, is staying. Okay, apologies. At least 5 days before the occupation of the street, the applicant must apply for an occupation permit in order to park or place equipment on the street at the cost pursuant to Article 237 of Bylaw 2633, being the bylaw concerning tariffs for the City of Côte Saint-Luc for the fiscal year 2025. The owner will be held responsible for all damages caused to public property during the demolition work and all reconstruction work. All precautions must be undertaken to prevent inconveniences related to noise, dust, pollution, street usage, and vermin. In the 2 days following the end of demolition works, the lot must be cleaned from all debris and rubble and properly leveled. Debris and rubble resulting from the demolition shall be transported off-site and be placed in an authorized site to this end by Quebec's Ministère de l'Environnement according to Article 413 of the Construction Bylaw 2593. No changes may be made to the prospectus for the new detached single-family dwelling prior to or during construction. This is so important. If a change is required, the property owner must contact the Urban Planning Department in order to submit a revised plan application. This request entails a resubmission of the proposal and is subject to applicable fees pursuant to Article 3.1 of the Tariff Bylaw 2633. Following the construction of the new detached single-family dwelling, a new certificate of location and survey of the new building height must be provided to the Urban Planning Department. All measurements must conform to the construction permit and the zoning bylaw 2217. Yes.
Very well read. We know why you're in charge of urban planning PAC. So that has been moved by Councillor Kajavsky, seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion?
Where did all these people come from?
Where they all come?
That was very long. No, I don't think any discussion is really necessary. I think Councillor Burku, you want to
add
speak
something?
to
Go
it?
ahead,
Go
Councillor
ahead.
Burku.
So I think this is really a milestone moment for Côte Saint-Luc because we know that we've had many issues with regard to non-conforming places of worship over the years, as long as I've been a counselor, and certainly over the past 5 years or longer. And the way this council has handled this situation now, I think, is very, very correct and very forward-looking. So what we did is we adopted 4 zones where places of worship could be conforming. They could apply for conforming status. And tonight, on tonight's agenda, you have 2 such places, one on Haywood and one on Bailey, that are going to be put to a vote. And those dwellings, those single-family dwellings on Bailey and Haywood, in all likelihood, because we've discussed this over and over at in committee and at council, those will be legalized. They will be legalized with conditions with regard to safety and security and everything else. This particular property, the non-conforming, the congregation that was using it as a synagogue has decided to demolish the building. And you'll see the one on the left is the address, 5727 Léger at the corner of Kildare, and will be rebuilding a single-family home that can eventually be converted to accommodate a place of worship with all the conditions that are required according to our conditional use bylaw. So I think it's really a milestone for us because we've tried very hard to balance, you know, the competing interests of the religious community and the secular community and people who want the places of worship to be legalized and those who had issues and concerns about safety and security and inconvenience and traffic and noise and all the rest of it. And so I'm very, very happy that we're moving forward. And what I like about this process is because it's a demolition, there was a sign posted, there was public notice. We're giving all the details of the replacement project, which you see on the right, a new proposed front facade, the new proposed front facade you see. So everything is clear, and this is now eventually going to go back to their congregation, and then they're going to decide how to move forward and legalize the usage of for public worship. So I'm very, very happy that we're moving this, and I think that we've come a long way. And recently, I'll just give you an example. I mean, there was an article in La Presse about what's going on in Outremont, and they're struggling with similar issues, but they haven't been able to come to any kind of consensus and work it through. But we have, and I'm very proud of this council and the city and the staff that we were able to do, and we will continue to move this file forward. Thank you.
Well explained. As you can see from the picture, the goal is to integrate it into the community. It's a home. It looks like a home. It's built like a home, but it deals with our primary purpose of safety and security in the city. We always want all institutions, particularly if it's going to be modified into a religious institution, to be safe. So it's being built in the possibility of becoming a religious institution with all the safety requirements that we would impose. And the other ones that are on the agenda tonight, which we'll talk about in the next meeting, the public meeting, have conformed to all safety and security issues. So they also look like homes. They integrate well into the neighborhood, and they provide a service that is needed in our community. So I guess I'll answer the question. There is a question on it in the next, the written question. Should I deal with it now?
No.
I can do it now.
No, you can't.
Or I can't do it now.
Oh, is it written?
It's a written question for the public meeting.
No,
Okay, it's on this issue, but we'll talk about it in a minute. All right, so is there any other comments on it? No? So if there's no other comments, we will call for the vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? So it's carried unanimously, and now I'll call for adjournment.
So moved.
Councillor Sabag, seconded by Councillor Schuster, all in favor. So we are adjourned, and now we're going to reconvene, and then we'll go to question period and deal with the questions that are in writing and in person. Okay, so the next agenda is, all right. Welcome to our public council meeting of Monday, July the 14th, 2025. I have with me Councilor Leo Azarad, Councilor Andy Schuster, Councilor Oren Sabag, Councilor Dita Burku, myself, Mayor Mitchell Brownstein, Councilor Mitch Kajavsky, Councilor Sidney Benizri, our City Manager, Jonathan Schechter, Councilor Mike Cohen, and Pascal Tongue, our City Clerk and Director of Legal Services. So should I do the written one first? The written one first and then okay. So we have a written one first, which really flows because it goes right with what we were just talking about. It's from Marianne Constantine. I noticed 2 requests to turn private residences into synagogues. My question is, how many more houses of worship do we need in Côte Saint-Luc? We have beautiful synagogues, both Ashkenazi and Sephardim, and 2 beautiful Chabad houses and a reconstruction of synagogue, which that one's not in Côte Saint-Luc, but anyway. At present, there are also 2 congregations in Codwell Shopping Center. I'm just asking. Okay, so I think we already started the answer, but the answer basically is we need as many as the community requires for their usage for religious purposes. We have a growing community in Côte Saint-Luc of all types of people, not only Jewish, but we do have a certain segment of the population that is Jewish that wants them, and they have different religious traditions. They come from different parts of the world, and each institution provides them with the type of service that they are used to based on their traditions and where they come from, and provides an excellent service for them. And we welcome all communities, Jewish and not Jewish. We are a multicultural community that really we can be the envy of most communities throughout the world. Because I think Côte Saint-Luc really is a place where we all get along and we all respect each other. And I think that's wonderful. And this is one more way that we can continue to do that. So that's the answer, unless anybody wants to add anything to it. Okay, so then we'll go to the next question, which would be Andy Cartman, or Cantman? I think it's Annie. Sorry, Annie. Thank you. Yes. All right, Councilor Cohen, could we move the agenda, please? Sorry.
Yes, so.
Okay.
Mayor, I so move that we adopt.
Seconded by Councilor Jaffrey. All in favor of adopting the agenda? It's adopted. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, yes.
Hi, so my question is, we're going to have a synagogue in a single dwelling apartment, and I was very worried about the traffic and the parking. We are living in the street behind one of those synagogues, and basically we don't have any space anymore when there's a big event for our own usage. So is the city is planning to have some condition about the parking concerning those synagogue? And I see they also expanding the synagogue. I mean, there will be more traffic coming to.
Right.
So
Which street is this?
the synagogue is the one on Hillwood, and our street is the one behind it on Schweitzer.
Okay.
So Schweitzer has 5 parking. There's a park in front of it. It's impossible to park. Basically, we have 5 houses and 5 parking spots. And basically, when there's an event, basically we have no space for us. So what are you planning to do? Is it going to be one of the conditions to have a synagogue functioning in this area?
Right.
Is it there is? Okay.
Do you have any questions? I mean, I live next to the Beth Israel Beth Aaron. I mean, right next door. It's right next to my house. And there's beautiful weddings there Thursday nights, Sundays, all the time. And people park on my street, Shalom. You know, I either don't have a place to park when they're having a wedding because that's just the way it is. And I have guests over and I tell them, well, fit into my driveway. That's the reality of living in Côte Saint-Luc. There is a need. So we do our best to accommodate. But is there any other special requirements?
I do remember, and I'm just kind of ad-libbing here, spitballing, but I remember several years ago we had discussed the possibility of having like a permit parking pilot in that area. Almost like they do in the city of Montreal, where you have a sticker and you have like just a permit parking area. We had discussed it. I don't know if we had ever implemented it, but it's certainly something we can look at to see if it would make things easier during certain periods.
It's possible. I think
Yeah. I know that, so if I can just add, because on the same line, if I remember, we did something about parking a few years ago.
on Redwood, yeah.
Exactly. So maybe this is something that maybe we can expand. We can talk, in our next, committee. Yeah, we can speak on it. We can see also with our public security department, and to try to come back, with a solution and with a project
Very
for the
good.
resident. Absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds like an idea, but just to let you know, this is not the same situation as the Charlemagne. There's like 3 streets where basically the parking is already maxed out.
Okay,
We have 5 spots.
So the undertaking of council is to send to the traffic committee to study the possibility of maybe having specialized parking
Maybe.
signs for those streets. And for other streets that have a similar problem based on homes that have been converted to synagogues, if there's no room for, so that's something for the traffic committee to study?
Exactly.
Mobility.
Mobi-
Okay,
yeah.
good. So that's an undertaking. So thank you, and we will follow up.
Thank you very much for the.
The next one is Yoel Moya.
I don't have a question at this point.
Okay, all right, good. Well, this is question period if you have one. Okay, you just filled it out because, in case. Okay, no problem. So I have this, okay, I got it wrong in terms of the order. Pamela Bertoldi.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Welcome.
I just wanted to know why there's a change in the bylaw today.
Which
The
bylaw?
one on the 2470.
I'm not sure which one you mean.
Uh,
What, give me the
The-
item number?
Article.
They're all listed,
One.
number 10, 11, 12, 20. Can you see it on the agenda? Which one? It's listed as a number.
Oh, 5. 2475?
Okay, item number 11, public safety. Okay, that's the one about the bird feeders. We're not there yet, but yeah, that's a good time to ask a question. Yeah, anybody want to answer on that one? Oh, Stephen's not here. Who would like, Mike, Councilor Cohen? It's about the bird feeders. Why is there a change in our bylaw? Go ahead. Councilor Cohen.
I mean,
for
we're
animal
talking about
safety.
the whole bylaw, we're just talking about the bird feeders.
It's the
Yes.
modification dealing with bird feeding. There's limiting to 2.
I have to say, I don't have all the details. Is Philip still here? Because
Okay, so, you know-
Phil knows it
No,
better, I
it's-
think. It came from public safety. I don't want to give partial information.
Case, Councilor
Bylaw
Gaffney.
itself, we're going to adopt shortly on the agenda in general about feeding, wild animals, and we're going to explain
Yeah,
that
I'll give
well,
partial
but
information.
Our public safety director should be able to give a better explanation, and if he can't give it right now, we can arrange for you to be emailed or phoned with a direct answer.
Okay.
I don't know, what about you, Director General
I can
Schechter, do you have
wait.
any information?
Yeah, so just a little precision that I think is important. You're
Yeah.
not adopting the bylaw tonight, you are tabling the draft bylaw.
Okay, so what's the difference?
The director who's in charge of the department is actually here tonight to give you a more tailored explanation,
Okay.
but it's a proposal tonight for a future council.
Oh, okay. All right.
Councilor
If I may.
Gajowski wants to speak to it. Go ahead,
Well,
Councilor.
you can, I think it's on the agenda.
It is on
if I'm
the
not mistaken,
agenda.
on page 315, right, which is publicly available. So in short, we're
Oh, there you are,
modifying it to
Councilor.
make small adjustments to it, I guess, with a little more detail. So let's say limiting 2 bird feeders to a particular residence, to make sure that the area is cleaned around a bird feeder. This all comes from one or two particular homes that have multiple, and I'm talking multiple, like 10, 15, 20 bird feeders that have been attracting many other animals. That has become a major issue. So it was brought up to modify this bylaw to make it a little more focused, a little more real world, I guess you'd say.
The goal is to have the bird feeders attract birds, not other wild animals.
Yeah.
Not the entire forest.
But Director Shadowver, is there anything you'd want to add, or are we missing anything? I see that. We're talking about the bird feeder bylaw. If there's anything to add, why we're doing it. Okay. Anyway, you can meet him outside.
Okay, can I just answer? It's very simple, okay? There's residents that are feeding birds that are attracting wild animals, raccoons, squirrels, rats. I mean, it goes on. So the amendment is very simple. The presence of, we're reducing the number of bird feeders to 2 per yard that are squirrel-proof and resistant to other wild animals.
Yeah.
You have to maintain a bird feeder you can't maintain a bird feeder in a non-functional or unsanitary condition. So you have to maintain it properly. You have to leave it, you can't leave it on the ground or leave any spilled seed from a bird feeder without immediately picking it up or disposing of it in such a way as to avoid attracting other wild animals. And you cannot allow the accumulation of bird droppings on land, balconies, or any other structure located on property owned or occupied by the owner. So basically, the purpose is to have the properties clean and not infested by wild animals, and also not to attract, too much dirt and unsanitary conditions. Okay, so that's the limit, I read you straight from the bylaw. So the bylaw says feeding wild animals, but you're not allowed to do those 3 things,
Yeah.
Okay.
In order to make a change in a bylaw, does it only have to affect one person, or?
No, it's for the entire city.
No, I understand, but to make that change, does there have to be?
No, it's just a problem that we
understand your
noticed.
question.
But like, does it have to be a
So
problem for
we're
a
doing a
lot
bylaw
of
that will
people, or
affect
can
everyone.
one person, if they have an issue, bring it up and then get a bylaw changed?
No, it was an issue that was brought to our attention, and it became a problem in certain households. So we decided that we were going to adopt these changes to clean up certain backyards. Yes.
Oh, I just was wondering, like, does a whole street have to be, like, coming to you to want to change something?
No, it's just something that's brought to our attention that we feel is an issue that needs to be addressed. Could happen from one house, it could happen from many people asking for it. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, David Torgman, 6836 Emerson. David.
Hi. Just put on my timer. Oh boy, it's loud. As a follow-up to my question from last month, I just wanted to see if there was an update, because I haven't seen it on the website, the timeline for the publication of the traffic study on Vizina, the one that was mandated for DeCarry Square, and a follow-up, has a decision been made by the council on the master plan, a follow-up date for what's happening next, or is it tabled?
The traffic study update, do you have anything on that, Councilor Gajewski? When are we getting that?
I don't know if or when it was supposed to be published. I don't see
Because
why.
I
It's
didn't
not
see it.
public
I didn't
record.
see it.
People should be able to see it. It's great.
Oh, we haven't seen it.
Okay,
Where are we at?
so I'm going to answer this.
Go.
So the master plan is not ready for adoption right now. The issue of traffic has become a major issue, as you know, around DeCarry Square. Certain residents here are very familiar with that. We had 2 traffic studies ordered, one for DeCarry, one for Cavendish. Then the council decided that we needed a 3rd traffic study for Côte Saint-Luc Shopping Center. So we're going to ask that a 3rd traffic study be mandated for the Côte Saint-Luc Shopping Center. And then when they're all ready, then they're going to be presented to the public in the context of the master plan adoption, because the master plan is not ready for adoption right now. So when the council shall decide, then they will start that process all over again. It'll go to the public, and the traffic studies will be presented, and then the master plan will be adopted.
And in terms of timeline, because I'd like to be transparent and very clear, as mayor, I have to feel that the public, including the entire city, whatever district they're in, has had proper consultation and the ability to provide their concerns. And the master plan requires a legal consultation after the next passing of the next adoption. And I don't feel like council should be passing a master plan in the last hour of their mandate. I feel that it's important for a new council, newly elected, to be able to make that judgment based on what they hear from the residents, if they're ready to move forward on the master plan, and not for it to be rushed through at the end of a mandate, which is where we are now. We're at the end of a mandate, and I will not be rushing it through or putting it on any agenda before the election. So for clear in terms of timeline, it will not be before the election.
Okay, so that's perfect. So the master plan is delayed till after the election?
Absolutely.
Okay, I got that now. But for the traffic studies, the ones that have been done, and I understand there's new ones that are being developed, haven't been mandated yet, I understand?
As I said, DeCarry was done, Cavendish, around Cavendish Mall, and now we've decided to go with the traffic study around Côte Saint-Luc Shopping Center. And the council has deemed that until such time as we have the full picture, we're not going to present the traffic studies.
None of them, even though they're independent, none of them will be presented?
Well, they're
Just want to understand. Okay.
They're independent, but they're not independent, because as you well know, a lot of the traffic is interrelated, right? So it's definitely
Okay.
interrelated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next. That's it. Thank you. Okay. Norm Sabin.
Good evening.
Welcome.
I can save you $1,000 a day to the taxpayer if you raise the thermostat in this building 1 degree. That's the first thing I want to say.
My wife is wearing a jacket.
My question is actually about my Canadian flag, but could I just make a comment about the June 9th meeting? Mike was talking about Park Place and the traffic situation there. I just want to say, you know, I was listening to it on the video, I was watching it, and I couldn't believe that this one resident, citizen Bob, his car was hit 3 different times. Is that the case, Mike? And I just found it almost unbelievable, so I didn't actually know where it was, but I found it, and I drove down it, you know, from where the Cavendish Mall is, the south end. And when you drive along Park Place, as you know, when you get to, there's a 90-degree right turn, and there's another 90-degree right turn on it. And I assume that Mr. Bob's house is at the first turn, Mike? Okay, I didn't know his last name, sorry. So, you know, the reason why I'm mentioning that is because most residential streets don't have 90-degree turns. And I was asking myself, why would this guy's house or car have been hit 3 times? And I think that, just to make a suggestion, because I know you were thinking of a speed bump, is that people going down that street might not know that there's a 90-degree turn, you know, about to hit them, and especially in the nighttime or whatever, there's no sign that sort of has one of those, you know, 90-degree right turns. And I think at the very least, you know, you could put a sign there saying that there's a 90-degree turn coming up. I'm not quite sure if this is really a speeding issue or whether people just didn't realize that there's a 90-degree turn. That might take a lot of people by surprise, especially people who don't live on Park Place or people that are thinking it's a shortcut to Kildare or something like that. So I just wanted to, you know, put that out there. The first
committee recommendation. Take a look at it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, because
slow down signs on every lawn.
yeah, well, that's good too. But you know, people driving down. I mean,
Right.
I have people feeling that the people going down the street that have caused the accidents probably aren't really residents there. I think they got taken
The
by
theory
surprise.
was it was a lot of deliveries, delivery vans and so on.
Okay. I just wanted to ask a question about my Canadian flag. I love Canada. I like to show my respect for Canada, my admiration for Canada. And one of the ways I do it is I've been hanging a flag from my balcony now for many, many years. When I lived on McDonald, it was hanging. When I lived on Bessborough, it was hanging. Now I live on Norwalk, and I live in a condo, and I hung a flag on my balcony. And the president of the condo association wasn't thrilled about it, and what she said is that, you're not allowed to hang. The condo bylaws say you can't hang anything from from a balcony. So, the thinking there is probably that we don't want to hang something that could fall down or something that's downright ugly, etc. But this is a Canadian flag, it's not a flower pot.
Well,
or
we
something
certainly
like that.
encourage it. We can't deal with all the bylaws and in your condo
Well-
association, but we certainly encourage people to fly the Canadian flag.
Okay, so see, that's why I wanted to get a statement from council on, whether you would support a citizen who wants to, hang a flag from their balcony in a dignified way, in a way that's not.
I mean, we cannot deal with your condo rules. We encourage people to fly the flag, but you're going to have to go back to your condo association and figure out how to get
Yeah.
that done.
Well, out of interest, in 2012, in June of 2012, Stephen Harper's Conservative government passed the National Flag Act of Canada. I won't read it to you, but what it does say is that even in the case of a condominium, condominium associations are encouraged to allow citizens to hang a flag. It's not a law saying you must allow them, but they're encouraged to allow hanging of a flag. And they gave me some support. And my flag is still, hanging on my balcony. It's not facing the front of the building, it's facing sort of the back side, facing Kovac Park. But I just wanted to know if, council would provide a statement of support for a citizen who does want to hang a flag from their balcony.
This council meeting is recorded, so you can take my clip. I just said that we are very much in
Great.
favor of
Okay.
people flying the Canadian flag.
Okay.
It's all being videotaped right now.
Okay, that's great. So I'll take that back to my association, and we'll see where it goes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Therese Attias.
Bonjour. Si vous
Bonjour.
permettez, je vais
Enchanté.
parler en français.
Oh, certainement.
OK. Je pensais que mon projet allait être ce soir, vu par tout le consul, mais je vois qu'il ne l'a pas été. Mais je pense que tout le consul connaît le projet. Ça dure déjà, ça fait plusieurs mois. Nous avons demandé il y a à peu près, depuis le mois de mars, un permis pour une rénovation et une extension au 5562 Randall.
OK.
OK?
On le connaît très bien.
Exact,
Worthgo est au
exact.
courant de tout. Elle peut
OK.
répondre officiellement.
Alors, chaque fois que je veux des questions, je n'en ai pas aucune question. On demande toutes sortes de choses à faire, toutes sortes de paperasse et tout ça, mais rien ne se fait. Et chaque fois, c'est retardé et retardé. Et je veux comprendre la raison.
OK. Premièrement, vous pouvez faire une mise à jour où est la situation de ce projet et après je vais faire mes commentaires.
Madame Mathias, alors, comme vous le savez très bien, il y a eu un incident avec le mur mitoyen que vous partagez avec votre voisin au 5560 Randall. Depuis cet incident, le mur mitoyen n'est plus, comme on dit, n'est plus étanche au feu. It's not fireproof, it's not firewall. Les travaux qui ont causé ces dommages provenaient de votre maison,
OK.
des ouvriers qui travaillaient sans permis, qui travaillaient dans un contexte où ils ont fait un trou dans le mur mitoyen. Mais c'est l'information qu'on a et puis c'est l'indication qu'on a. Et nos services de sécurité publique, de police, de feu, la directrice adjointe de la ville est allée sur les lieux. La ville a arrêté les travaux dans votre logement. Vous avez eu un arrêt de travaux. Et depuis ce moment-là, les voisins attendent à réparer le mur. Le mur est toujours, en date d'aujourd'hui, le 14 juillet, le mur n'est toujours pas réparé. Alors, la problématique qui a été posée, et qui a été posée par les membres du conseil, pas seulement moi, mais tous les membres du conseil, c'est comment est-ce qu'on peut adopter ou approuver un projet de rénovation dans une maison où il y a un problème de mur mitoyen qui n'est pas étanche, qui n'est pas protégé contre le feu, qui exige des réparations que le voisin va faire à ses propres frais et avec ses propres assurances que vous avez refusé de faire. Comment est-ce qu'on peut approuver ça? Alors, dans la situation qui existe actuellement, le service d'urbanisme avec les services juridiques sont en train d'explorer des conditions dans lesquelles on peut vous accorder l'approbation de votre projet, mais qui serait, si vous voulez, que je l'explique comme ça, qui serait conditionnel, merci, qui serait conditionnel à ce qu'on soit dans une situation de construction saine et sécure, parce qu'on s'est posé la question de sécurité. C'est une question de sécurité. Alors, en fin de ligne, si éventuellement le mur est réparé, et j'espère qu'il sera bientôt, et on sait, et vous le savez aussi, qu'il sera réparé au cours du mois d'août, alors là, à ce moment-là, votre projet sera soumis pour approbation et les permis seront accordés en bonne et due forme. Et c'est effectivement où on est rendu.
Je veux juste ajouter, il y a
Pardon?
deux situations. Okay?
Non, c'est pas deux situations, je m'excuse.
Je veux expliquer.
Je vais d'abord répondre à Madame Berko, si vous permettez, ok?
Certainement.
Vous savez très bien que j'étais en accord avec les voisins depuis le début. Et c'est pas vrai que c'était... OK, on a fait une erreur, c'est bien. On a fait une erreur parce qu'on a eu une inondation. On a eu une inondation qui a causé beaucoup de dégâts dans la maison. Et on n'avait pas le temps de prendre un permis ou quoi que ce soit, ou pour le demander. Donc, on a pris des travailleurs pour nettoyer. Il y a eu du mold qui a existé là-bas. Les meubles ont été jetés. J'ai payé plus de presque 25 000 $ pour me débarrasser de tout ça. Mais j'ai dit, OK, puisque je vais faire la construction, je ne vais pas appeler mon assurance. Mais qu'est-ce qui s'est passé quand ils ont commencé à enlever un peu du mur? Le mur a bougé, puis les voisins ont dit, j'ai dit, OK, il n'y a pas de problème. On est d'accord à réparer ça. On le fera comme nécessaire. On a eu affaire avec toutes les deux assurances et tout a été correct. Et puis d'un seul coup, je ne sais pas ce qui se passe, on nous met des bâtons dans les roues de tous les côtés.
Peut-être que vous n'avez pas compris. Ce n'est pas le conseil. C'est le département de l'urbanisme qui m'a expliqué qu'ils sont en train de faire des conditions pour approuver votre projet et ça prendra du temps. Ce n'est pas le conseil, c'est le département d'urbanisme. J'ai parlé avec le directeur, Charles Sénécal. Il m'a dit qu'il pense que les conditions et tout vont être proposées pour la prochaine réunion publique. Et après ça, vous allez faire votre demande pour un permis avec des documents. Ça va prendre du temps encore. Mais premièrement, je veux dire, comme je vous avais dit avant, la sécurité, c'est la première chose qui est importante pour nous toujours, pour tout le monde, pour vous et pour votre voisine future. Et on est très... on veut certainement qu'il y a... J'ai parlé avec votre voisine. Finalement, j'ai visité la maison il y a une semaine et je vois exactement tous les problèmes. Et j'ai demandé où est-ce qu'on va avoir une date pour la réparation. C'est son assurance de la voisine a donné une date le 11 août pour commencer les réparations pour le mur mitoyen. Et j'espère que ça va se passer vite et j'espère que ça va vous donner la chance de faire votre expansion, parce qu'on veut avoir une expansion comme ça. On veut avoir des possibilités pour des personnes de vivre à Côte Saint-Luc avec des belles maisons. Et c'est un bon projet avec une bonne façade et l'extension en arrière. Peut-être il y a des moyens que vous pouvez aider votre voisine pour avoir peut-être des sédans ou quelque chose pour diminuer le impact de l'extension. Mais pour moi, comme maire, je vous invite c'est la première fois qu'on se voit,
Exact.
mais de me voir, je peux faire une visite ensemble avec votre voisine et vous pour trouver des solutions qui vont avancer le projet plus vite et qui va avancer le projet avec un bon résultat, résultat, parce que vous va vivre je pense que c'est votre
Mon petit-fils.
petit-fils qui va vivre avec ses voisins pour beaucoup des années. Et je veux qu'il va avoir une bonne relation et je peux assister pour être certain que ça va être bon. Mais ça prendra du temps. Je suis là, disponible pour vous et pour le monsieur à côté et on va trouver un moyen. Mais je veux vous dire, c'est pas le conseil, c'est le département d'urbanisme qui fait leur travail. Ils travaillent sur les conditions maintenant, et après ça, le permis. Et ça va prendre, il m'a dit, il pense que ça va prendre entre août et septembre pour tout être fini. Et pendant cette période, j'espère que le mur va être réparé en commençant le 11 août. J'espère que ça va marcher bien.
Donc à ce moment-là, si je comprends très bien, c'est juste le voisin qui compte. Moi, je ne compte pas.
Les deux.
Oh non, je m'excuse
Les
parce
deux
que
comptent.
vous savez, ce que
la
vous
voisine-
venez de
Qu'est-ce
m'expliquer
que la
là.
voisine
Excusez-moi, ce que vous venez de m'expliquer, qu'ils vont approuver, qu'ils vont étudier, qu'ils vont nous rencontrer, ça fait 1 mois qu'ils nous disent ça. On va vous rencontrer la semaine prochaine, on va vous rencontrer la semaine d'après. Rien n'a été fait. Et Madame Berco est au courant de tout ça. Je lui ai parlé plus souvent. Avant, les voisins n'ont pas été corrects. Vous savez, c'est un côté, c'est d'un côté.
C'est votre côté qui a fait tous les problèmes. Vous avez travaillé sans permis et vous avez fait des problèmes. C'est votre faute. Et maintenant,
J'ai pas dit que c'était pas mon
vous
problème.
venez aujourd'hui à nous en disant que c'est seulement son problème, c'est seulement votre problème.
J'ai pas
Madame,
dit ça, monsieur.
Vous avez travaillé sans permis. J'ai pris des photos la semaine passée. C'est incroyable. Et vous n'avez pas fait votre travail jusqu'à date pour assurer que la maison ne tombe pas. C'est seulement à son côté que son assurance a fait une mur temporaire. Et à votre côté, vous avez fait rien. Ça ne dit pas que c'est seulement au côté. Si c'est une côté, c'est seulement votre côté qui est le problème. Mais merci.
Monsieur, je ne vais pas argumenter avec vous parce que vous ne connaissez pas le fait exact. Mais Madame Burco est assez au courant de tout ça. Alors allez-y voir le voisin. Je vous invite à venir chez moi et parler avec mon voisin.
Très clair.
Je l'espère.
Merci, madame. Merci.
Merci à vous.
Merci pour venir. Je pense que je suis été très clair. OK, la prochaine. C'est Anna Marciano.
Hi,
Hi, welcome.
thank you. So my question tonight is in relation to what we were spoken about, which is I'm very happy that we're addressing the issue of parking and synagogues. I live in the same area as the lady who brought up the point of it does get very crowded on very tight streets. I just wanted to bring up the point, there's many small synagogues. I'm a synagogue goer myself, so I'm a very big supporter. However, I'm also a supporter of Côte Saint-Luc order and respect for zoning and residential areas. There is a need for it, absolutely. We are a growing community and we're very happy to say that. We're also growing and going to synagogue and we're very proud of that. Are we maintaining some kind of order and making sure that every house does not become now whatever it wants to be, which is one of them is house of worship, but we also have our shopping malls and our very small shopping malls which are becoming medical centers almost everywhere. In every shopping mall, there's a medical center, and any house can become a house of worship. Can we maintain some kind of order in Côte Saint-Luc where we say a shopping mall is a place to shop and a medical center is a place to be handling people who could be sick or some kind of contagious something? Can we maintain that a place of a residential area is a residential area and a synagogue area? As you mentioned, Beth Israel, I'm also a member there. And it is an open space with parking, and there is a parking area right across, and it does belong to them. So I just wanted to know if there's any kind of zoning that we can refer to where we can say there is an order in Côte Saint-Luc. We're not just responding to the needs, we're responding to the needs according to the order of zoning. Residential is residential.
That's what we're trying to do. That's exactly what we're trying to do, but I'll let Councilor Burko explain it again. I think she tried, but that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Exactly what we tried to do, because we did have a lot of non-conforming, and
We're trying
most
to limit them to
recently,
districts.
yeah.
We're
So
not
we-
letting like anybody do it anywhere. There's 4 districts.
Yeah.
But we did it, 4 districts, that's it.
So we have 4 zones. I'll repeat them. So there's a zone around the Bailey Synagogue that's on the agenda tonight. There's a zone around Haywood. There's a zone around Park Haven, and there's a zone around Leger. Those are the 4 zones where a conditional use is allowed, and that conditional.
Sorry, when I say zone, I mean residential zone?
Right, those are the 4 residential zones where a non-residential use is allowed for worship. Though only in those.
But how are you containing it to 4? Because we know as
No, but
usually.
actually, the other 2, there's 2 other uses that we're aware of on Eldridge. And that's about it for residential zones. We're not aware of any others except for the 2 on Eldridge. And the 2 on Eldridge.
So I just want to understand you right. Basically, what you're saying, residential area is residential area, and we've made 4 exceptions where we can have a residence turn into a public place.
1 residence
place
per zone.
1 place per zone can become a public place
Right.
in a residential area.
Correct.
So I can tell you what it presents. It's basically driveways that are blocked. It's a mother like me who comes out with the little kids in the hands and ready to go out and bring my kids to school and go to work, and my driveway is blocked. It's really not made for people who live to have blocked driveways, and
But those zones are already adopted. That was done last year, okay? So we can't review that now. Now we're implementing it. So I don't know why, like, those zones have been created, adopted, and now we're implementing it so to allow the individual places of worship that are in those zones to become conforming. So there's no other issue really, I mean, unless you're saying that there are other places which we're aware of, as I said, on Eldridge, and those are being treated by our urban planning department. And that's basically it.
Okay, so if that's been addressed, then I'm going to leave that to you. The second question is, on Fleet right now, there's construction going on,
Yes?
and they're redoing the roads. I just wanted to know that as they're opening the road, is it an electrical problem or a pipe problem that we're
No,
addressing?
we're doing it. I meant to do that at the beginning of the meeting, so I'll do it now. Thank you. The city's performing sidewalk repair, road resurfacing, and conduit upgrade on the westbound Fleet Road, entering Côte Saint-Luc from Monday, July the 14th, to the end of August. Here's how the work will affect traffic. For the week of July the 14th, the sidewalk work begins on Fleet Road, 1 lane closed. North sidewalk closed to pedestrians. Of the week of July 21st onwards, resurfacing work and median conduit work begins on Fleet Road. 2 lanes are closed, so one side is closed completely, the side going into the city. Therefore, 1 lane of westbound traffic will be diverted to eastbound Fleet Road. North side sidewalk closed to pedestrians. Some westbound bus stops on Fleet Road will be unavailable during the work. Please check, give yourself extra time if you normally use those stops. To help reduce time and traffic, we recommend that motorists find alternative routes and consider using navigation apps like Waze. Like, I came into the city today and I knew of this, and I hope that we keep on publicizing it so people know. So I took Côte Saint-Luc Road and Cavendish because I didn't want to get the traffic that I knew probably was there, I didn't want to hit. And we are recommending during this period of time to do it. I mean, it's going to be great to have that complete side of the road repaved. I know there's a lot of roads in our city we want to repave, and one of them for sure is Fleet. So we're happy that we're doing it, but there is that inconvenience that you can avoid if you take the time to plan accordingly.
I just wanted to say that this problem, the construction on Fleet joins and is connected to the problem we had last year, since last year and the year before. There's homes in the area of Randall and Bailey, which had flooding in the basements. So I know you're aware of that because we brought it up in meetings.
Yeah.
And it is connected to the piping system. So now that it's open and the roads are open, we can actually see the connection that's going to the big streets and the big,
That's your conclusion, that's not ours.
no, it's not, I'm not saying it's a conclusion, I'm just saying it joins that problem. The problems
No,
are connected and people are working on it.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, so I'm aware of it and I just wanted to let you
All
know.
right. Well, that's your conclusion, not ours.
Okay, so
Okay.
thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Ronit Mulan.
Hi, good
Welcome.
evening. I'm actually here to talk to you about the fence that borders my house near the park. I was told that this fence belongs to the park
Which fence?
on Redwood. I have a picture.
Okay. Fence that,
It's 19 inches high, and that's it.
Sydney, are you what? No?
On Redwood Avenue.
Okay, I mean, I'm not sure. You could email us the picture so we'll all see it, but.
Do you want me to just give you the iPad?
Take a look. I want to get a closer look for sure. Thank you. I've not catched it exactly. Let's see. So there is. You mean, okay, is it next to your house, there's a garden or something? There's a garden next door? This is a park? This is part of the park next to your house? Okay, okay. Okay. Right, so there's a very, very low fence, and then it blends into these. Okay, I see it now. Okay. I see it now. Okay. Now, go ahead with your question. No, she has a question about it. I get it. She'd like a higher fence. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
so about 8 years ago, I had made a request with the city to make a new fence because kids were running onto my property from the park, playing tag, thinking my house was part of the park. And then a few years later, I saw that the city built a park around the periphery of built a fence around the periphery of the park, but ignored the part that was bordering my house. So they put in the money and enclosed the park, but ignored that part. So on June 6, this past June 6, I had an intruder in a very disturbing way. That week, we had hydro workers on my street, and one of the hydro men had observed a suspicious person who was zigzagging up and down Redwood Street, walking up to every house, pausing, searching, looking at every house all around, and then turning around and going to the next one. And they were zigzagging, and they were also seen in the park. And then that evening, I think that I was being spied on, and at some point when I was walking in and out of my house from my backyard, my back balcony into my house, this intruder came and stole my phone. And I didn't know, I was like completely shocked. I spent hours looking for it. I figured I misplaced it. And then the next day, we found that my phone was in NDG, in some address that my brother found had something to do with IMAX, some sort of IMAX service. So it seemed like it was sabotaged. And then they returned it to me. And my brother spoke to Apple and found out that there might be some spyware in it. I had brought it up with the police. The police were shocked. They said, Redwood Park is the safest park we know. And I always thought it was too. But these people had disabled my Facebook. They harassed my mother, Gladys Mualim. They pretended they were me. They said, Mom, I have a new phone number. I have no money. I can't pay my bills.
The request of the city is with respect to the fence.
Yes. So this person was searching for where he could steal phones, it seems. He was looking at all the houses, and mine was the most vulnerable. And it was just a skip and a jump to get over the fence and exactly have the timing to come in and leave.
So the undertaking to our city clerk, because I know that was a long explanation, but to summarize her explanation as the reasoning for a request to change that fence and to have it higher. There's a lot of reasoning and examples that were explained that you have all on tape. So if you can make a written request for that to be studied.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor, we have the small parks meeting this week where councilors are able to request additional things for the parks in their district, so
great.
That's easy.
Yeah, so we'll put that on that agenda. On the Thursday? Okay, so let's see that goes on the agenda for Thursday.
So do I need to come to that?
No, it's a committee meeting.
Okay, that would be
We'll
great.
update you. We'll definitely get back to you. We have your contact information.
Okay, great.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Are there any further questions? If not, there was nobody else. No, nobody else has written questions that I see. What? Is there anybody else that had questions? Fill that form? Oh, you just put your hand up. Okay. No, you didn't fill out one of the forms? Yes, I did. Oh, really? How come I didn't get it? Maybe I missed it. Okay, it must be here somewhere. Come ahead. Oh, there it is. Did anybody else in the audience not get called that filled out a paper?
Okay.
Only Sharon? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay. Good evening, everybody. By the way, coming here, there were no bikes anywhere. Everywhere I drive, I finally went to the Royal Mount, not one bike there, all cars, and $5,000 purses. But I got a beautiful Italian purse, wait till you see, like for borscht. You know, not $5,000, that's for sure. Okay. For the past several years, when I've come here talking about the need for Cavendish Extension, because there's cars, all I heard from Dita and from Mitch were, well, that we're doing environmental studies, it has to go to PAP, it has to go to BAP, it has to go here. Anyway, of course, that never got done. I went to the new site where the modular homes are being built and met with the supervisor. It's all on Facebook, so you could see. Spent a lot of time talking to him. They've made several paved roads. There are very heavy trailers there, the modular homes. I'm wondering, have they done any environmental studies on the site? Because they may have killed, let me finish.
I want to update you on that. So the fire department went and checked out the Hippodrome site and they made requirement, the fire department, the SIM, went.
Okay, can I finish? Can I just finish? Because it's just a joke about the environmental studies, anyway.
But she wants to know about Cavendish.
Okay, let me finish. So, it's, again, here we go. Was it just a way to continue to stall, to ever get us a Cavendish? We need roads. District 1 needs roads. You refuse to join with other cities and be more aggressive and put out our agglomeration fees in trust somewhere, despite the fact that Jews who have gone to those meetings have been treated worse than vermin. I went, trust me, so did Jeremy, we've all been. You haven't sued the city for their breach of contract to us. And also, there's a group of big business people, Royal Mount, Carbon Leo, Sam Scalia, I could name, Broccolini. You get all these people together and you can't get one road
Sharon,
done. Can I finish?
You're way past the 3 minutes.
I want to just
But you're way
finish.
past, so finish quick.
Okay, Dita, is it possible you're just ambivalent and in a conflict of interest because you represent possibly Cavendish, the area, and maybe they don't want an extension, and maybe you should recluse yourself from this file because it's going nowhere. District 1 has daily crisis of congestion. Even on the weekends, it's like parking lots. Your meetings go nowhere, and you refuse to take more aggressive stance to get us. We need people on council who are going to get the show on the road.
Thank you.
Can you comment?
She can comment in a minute, but I did want to give you an update because you're asking about Cavendish and the Hippodrome. So the Hippodrome project, in order for it to be built, has certain steps that it has to go through by law. One of those is the SIM, the fire department has to approve it. So they went and they studied it and they made certain requirements now that are required for additional roads for safety. Meaning if you're going to get out of the Hippodrome project, you can't just get out to DeCarry. They added additional roads. They're suggesting extending Clanranald. They're suggesting extending towards another way to Mackle. They have all different suggestions. Now, that all relates to Cavendish because now if they want to develop Hippodrome, they're going to be required based on the fire department to have additional roads for safety. So that is a big news. Does it mean Cavendish is going to be extended in the next 40 years? I can't tell you that. Does it mean that little Côte Saint-Luc's going to make them do it by using all our might and our big power? I can't tell you that. All I can tell you is the update that it will not be developed without additional roads as required by the SIM. That's the latest news I can give you. When that
But it is
happens,
already.
I can't tell
Those
you when.
modular homes are not temporary. I can tell you, they will not be temporary. But again, before anything should have gone there, the agreement was a road was to be built. A 2-mile nothing road needs to get done, and this council needs to play a much more aggressive role
We're working
in
with TNR and
finally
St.
getting us some roads there, because District
It's not
1 is
just this council. We are working
disgusting.
with Peter Maloof and Alan D'Souza. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so like the mayor said, number one, the Hippodrome project is not just the modular homes. Those modular homes is the improvisation that they suddenly woke up and they decided they're going to do social housing in a trailer
Because
park.
there's an election in 3 months.
Okay, so they decided to set up these temporary trailers, the so-called temporary trailers in the Hippodrome, no water, no sewage, no electricity, no emergency systems,
That's right.
no sprinklers, all
I
right?
spoke to the supervisor.
Well-
We had a very good conversation in French. There's nothing. There's no plan, no consultation with you
I
guys.
agree with
Councilor
you.
Burko answer, and then we're gonna move on,
agree
'cause we
with
have a
you
whole
on that.
agenda.
I agree with you on that, Sharon. And when I was at the agglomeration, because we are paying for it, you and I.
Yeah, I
And
know.
all the taxpayers
That's what
here are paying for it because it's coming out of the agglomeration budget. Okay, I voted against it. Not all the mayors voted against it because they call it social housing. It's not social housing. It's social improvisation and some kind of creative wishful thinking that homeless people are going to treps out to the middle of the Hippodrome, okay, and do what there? Okay, just they're going to sleep there, and then where are they going to go?
And what about all the medical
So,
services
I
they
vote-
are going to need?
I agree-
Psychiatric and
and all
physical.
the social needs that they have. I totally agree with you. Sharon, I said it publicly and I'm saying it again. Okay, that's one thing. So that's their social experiment that they're doing there with the trailers. With regard to the Cavendish extension, right? The mayor has very correctly said, and we had a breakthrough, call it a breakthrough. Finally, the SIM looked at the entire Hippodrome project, 20,000 new homes, and the SIM told the City of Montreal, and I mentioned this a couple of times and it was reported, that they need 3 separate and distinct entrance and exit points. So they have Jean Talon, they have Devonshire, and they need another one. Is it Clanranald? Is it Mackle, which is a 600-meter bridge? They're going to build, again, an absolute fantasy, a bridge from the Hippodrome to Mackle over 8 tracks and a parking lot for the Hyundai or Toyota, I don't know which is the what they have there, and the wetlands. That's a 600-meter bridge. So that's what they're proposing. And the mayor of TMR and the mayor of Saint Laurent and the mayor of Côte Saint-Luc and myself have repeatedly told them that the only extension that makes sense is Cavendish. Because what you do when you get the Cavendish extension is you get the loop right into Jean Talon, right into the Hippodrome, which is an accessory, which is part of the 2022 presentation that we made to the BAP, where all of the mayors agreed. They all agreed on the plan. We all agreed. But no, City of Montreal, as you know, Mayor Plante and company and Beaudry, and Gracia, they're dancing around the Hippodrome like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. No, I'm serious.
But they promise these things before every single election.
So I agree with you, but we're doing that. We are telling them clearly, plainly, every single week now. There's going to be an announcement. You see, they're fast tracking. There's going to be an announcement. We're telling them over and over and over.
Yeah.
It can't just be Clanranald. And Mackle is a problem because of Canadian Pacific is not going to, in my view, okay, I'm not going to speak for them, but I have a lot of trouble believing that Canadian Pacific is going to allow a 600-meter bridge. I mean,
They won't.
So that's where we're at with the City of Montreal. They are in fantasy land.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Burku, thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Friedman. And now we're going to move to the next
Mayor
item on-
Brownstein, sorry, there was one more question from the audience.
Okay. Whoever it is, go ahead.
Good evening. I've been e-biking for about 10 years.
What's your name, please?
Mark Bobot.
Okay.
So I've been e-biking for about 10 years. For those of you who might not be familiar, it's electric bikes. Recently, my son told me that he got pulled over twice riding his electric bike. And I asked him why, and he said, well, the police asked him for a license to ride. He's 14 years old. I looked it up, and from the Quebec point of view, it doesn't say anything about that. This morning, I got pulled over by a police in a motorcycle. So he sprang out his device for speed, and then seeing that I was conforming, we started talking, and he told me that it's a problem in Côte Saint-Luc. It's one that I really didn't hear about before.
What's the problem?
So that's why I'm addressing the issue. Is there a problem with e-bikes that in Côte Saint-Luc specifically, the police are stopping more people? Because I can feel now that it's very intimidating, especially for the youngsters, because now my son is reluctant to use his. And it's very unfortunate because it's very practical. I leave the car at home to go to work. And of course, because of the traffic issues that we have, no Cavendish and all construction, it's a great way to get around. So I just want to hear your thoughts if you're aware of,
Well, I'm going to have
this
to
at
ask
all.
the police about this because honestly, it's police, right? Not public security.
That's right, it's police,
'Cause
yes.
I have an electric bike. I use it all the time, and I like going to the bike path if I can. Take Westminster, and I get to the bike path, and it's wonderful. But I hadn't heard about this. So we'll definitely have to make the request to the police to see what's going on. I'm surprised. So your son and you were...
We were both stopped, yes.
Both stopped.
Now, he's young, he's 14. I was honored because I told him I'm over 16, and I flashed my ID, and but it was really for a spot check.
What's your address?
My address, 5720 Cavendish.
5720 Cavendish, if you just, because I don't have it on the paper.
1008, apartment 1008.
This is
Mr. Mayor.
5720
Can I ask you a question?
Cavendish 1008, Cavendish 1008.
Can I ask you a question? Just
Yes.
for clarification. What did the police tell you it was for? What was the spot check? Because
It wasn't, so he was hiding, and so as I was going up Cavendish, he stopped me after verifying my speed, and he told me the spot check was that he lifted my bike, and he wanted to see that it conformed to the 32-kilometer speed limit, yes, which is right now the
They
guideline.
have, yeah.
Yes. That was fine, and we had a very good, jovial conversation afterwards. He's himself an e-bike advocate. But I find that if this is happening to our youth, it might be very intimidating for them. I was.
So
the nature of the question was also, is it municipality involved? Because I've never heard of this outside of Côte Saint-Luc, but I'm hearing a lot about it in Côte Saint-Luc.
We will definitely have to make that request to the police, okay? That's Commander
Thank you very much.
Fournier Landry.
Good job.
Okay, so let's make a note of that too as a follow-up. Are there any other questions online or any other questions? No? Okay, so we'll move to the next item on the agenda, which is approval of the minutes. Councillor Cohen?
I so move, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Councillor Cohen, seconded by Councillor Schuster. Any discussion? All in favor? The minutes are approved. Any business arising from the minutes? So then we go to departmental reports. Councillor Schuster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The monthly departmental reports dated from June 2025 be and are hereby adopted as drafted.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Schuster, seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion? Who wants to go first? Councillor Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, I wanted to announce with great pride that the Human Rights Walkway will be doing something very timely for our community on Monday, September 15th, rain date September 16th. We will be inducting 3 new members, Clifford Lincoln, Richard French, and the late Herbert Marks. And people may not remember, but several decades ago, there was a Liberal government that brought in a sign law called Bill 178. The Supreme Court had ruled against the language law of signs, and Robert Bourassa used the notwithstanding clause, and as a result, those 3 gentlemen resigned from the cabinet, and Clifford Lincoln did his famous speech, "Rights are rights are rights." I was with Clifford Lincoln, sitting next to him at a lunch a few months ago, and he's 96 years old, still drives a car, still writes all his op-ed pieces, and so he has confirmed to Director Darrell Levine, who's coordinating the event, that he will be with us, hopefully, in September. I spoke to Herbert Marks' son yesterday, who's a big surgeon now in New York, and he and his mom plan to be there, and we're trying to get in touch with Richard French. And I just think it's important because I'll pay a tariff for this, Andy, but if anyone's been following my Instagram at Mike Cohen CSL, I've been going around looking at this ridiculous Bill 96 and the sign law right now, where they're making Canadian Tire, Walmart, now Econo Fitness across the street, spend countless hundreds of thousands of dollars because it says Canadian Tire, and now they have to make the letters slow. Walmart has to go from Super Centre to Super Centre. Econo Fitness now has to put mise en forme twice the size. It's ridiculous. So when you think right now, I'm disgusted. I'd like to know why I'm the only one going out there and making an issue out of it. I think that we all need to stand up for this. And the funny thing is, Econo Fitness is owned by Francophones. So it's angered me, and I feel very good that we're going to make a stand in Côte Saint-Luc on September 15th. We are going to honor these three men, because I don't know how many politicians right now, whether they're liberal, whether they're conservative, are standing up and speaking against this sign law right now. And everyone who wants to get elected so they don't say anything. Well, I don't have to worry about losing votes on this issue in Côte Saint-Luc, and even if I did, I don't really not concerned about it. But I'm really excited about this event, that we will all be there, and we'll remember the heroic gesture that these three people did. I mean, when you give up a cabinet post, you're giving up a lot of money and a lot of prestige, and they did it. And I remember the pressure Herbert Marks was under during those days. I was the Joel Goldenberg in those days. I was the suburban reporter for a local community. So I just wanted to make that announcement. You can read more on mikecohen.ca as well on my blog, where I just posted a blog last night about it. So that's my first announcement, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
I'd also like to mention that Brian Bloomer, who's a noted community activist and has been involved with the Knights of Pythias, has agreed to be a committee chair for development for the animal welfare issues. We already have a cats committee where they do all kinds of great work and with, helping trap, neuter, and release homeless cats, getting adoptions. We have a dog owners committee that takes care of the dog runs. So Brian is going to try to do some fundraising activities like he did for Knights of Pythias to bring in more money for animal welfare, to work directly with those two committees, and maybe have some educational seminars. So I'm going to be meeting with him soon. Our local commerce business of the month is Hagap Samulian. He is at the Carrie Square, and he's a financial advisor, and what a great story he is. Mr. Jean-Francois Roberge, if you're watching this meeting, this is a immigrant who came here. He was 18 years old. He's now 24 with his family, a family of 5. They didn't speak English. They didn't speak French. He went to school. He is perfectly bilingual. And in 6 years, he started his own business at 24. You can see him when you go into the Carrie Square. He's right there by the elevators where he has a big display table. And he reached out to me, Tariff, via Instagram a few months ago, and asked me if I'd come meet with him, and I did. And thoroughly impressed with him. So he is our business of the month, and you can read about that on our website and at Mike Cohen CSL Instagram. You can see my video with him. As well, we have our golf classic coming up on August the 5th, rain date August the 12th, and there are still spots available. So anybody in this room who golfs, or even if you want to try golfing and you want to see the beauty of Meadowbrook, please go to the Aquatic Center. Sign up. It's only $30, and not only do you get a day of golf, but you get a banquet at the end of September where you'll be able to break bread with people like Mitchell Brownstein. So that is my update for today, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cohen. Who wants to go next? Councillor Schuster.
I will try to speed read. It's an incredibly busy summer for recreation with our different facilities in full swing, including swimming, racket sports, day camp, pedal boats, and more. On top of that, add 2 successful musical theater productions that just finished last month, our various Heritage Days and Summer in the City. I'm going to skip Canada Day and do that in next month's report, and just make some announcements about some upcoming noteworthy initiatives. A preview of item 14B on tonight's agenda. There's a new pilot project for Côte Saint-Luc tennis, whereas residents aged 17 and under will have free access to the tennis in Côte Saint-Luc, which would be a one-time membership to the tennis club for the 2025 season. And adults who accompany these youths will also receive a discounted rate. The next initiative is the annual Maison Fleurie program has been re-envisioned as the brand new Gardens of Distinction program. The Gardens of Distinction program from the City of Côte Saint-Luc aims to recognize and celebrate residents who help beautify our community through outstanding garden design. The program is launching this week, and residents will be able to self-nominate or nominate a neighbor for their beautiful garden. We're not giving awards anymore. What happens is that people who want to nominate a garden go to côtesaintluc.org/gardens of distinction and fill out a form, and you get a sign that denotes that your garden as a point of pride and interest in Côte Saint-Luc. We will be publishing a listing of the different neighborhood gardens of distinction to encourage some microtourism in the area, encourage people to walk the streets and admire the gardens, showcasing these spaces to promote urban beauty, sustainability, and a shared sense of civic pride. Also announced for later this summer, which I was asked to mention this evening, is the wiffle ball field inauguration on Sunday, September 7th. The wiffle ball field was actually put into place during COVID, and we're finally getting a chance to officially inaugurate it. We have players coming in from Vermont for a very special day of all kinds of wiffle ball activities. And I'd like to note that my former neighbor, who's now my District 8 constituent, Dr. Mark Rubinovich, has been instrumental in establishing this field and this program for the community with some help from Robert Schuster. And that's it. That was as quick as I could go.
Thank you. Very well done. All right, great. And I just wanted to add on to your report that, yeah, it was a pleasure participating in the Wizard of Oz, teaching individuals about compassion and intelligence and courage. I thought it was a great production, got a lot of feedback. I also was very impressed with the Yiddish theater production that was put on, directed by Sam Stein. And we're looking forward to My Fair Zadie by the Senior Summer Works Group. So that's coming up in September. And now the next person that wants to speak would be Councilor Benizri.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want, in Public Works, just to introduce our new kitchen compost bins. So this is a special project. We want to encourage more family, to do composting. So we have a program here for 400 residents in townhouses and multifamily houses. So we hope that this is a new box with a special filter here that can be washed, and we hope that this will help and will encourage more people to do composting. The other point I just wanted to make, we know that roads, especially after winter, we have potholes, we have all kind of different holes, on the street, and I can tell you that we have our teams working on the asphalt, on a daily basis. Since the beginning of the year, we made more than 269 repairs, and we have more to come. Every day we're doing repairs, and just the month of June, it's we did 69 repairs in the asphalt, and this is a priority for us, and we'll continue to do it. And also we are redoing also street. Maybe Councillor Kuljavsky can tell us, in his report, he will mention, how many streets we're doing this year, but this is something important for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Benizri. Councilor Kuljavsky.
Good segue. So yeah, just to speak briefly about the street reconstruction. So I'll give you just a quick rundown. We've spoken about this in the past. We adopted the contract in June. So the streets that we're reconstructing, the total I believe is 1.1 or 1.2 kilometers, plus at least that or double that in sidewalks, because every street we rebuild, we are rebuilding the sidewalks as well, and for the most part replacing the orange cubes with new LED light fixtures, which Councillor Erdely would love to speak about if he was here, because Councillor Erdely loves LEDs. So just briefly, so Wavell between Parkhaven and Melling, Fleet westbound we heard about between Pinedale and Cavendish, and Borden north of Fleet, as well as in my area of Wolseley between Wavell and Guelph. I actually have a handful of the last letters to deliver, because I wanted to make sure that all questions were addressed with regards to like rebuilding or widening driveways and so on, because if the street is being rebuilt, you have the opportunity to widen your driveway, because we'll be replacing all the sidewalks with, and you can change the ramps. So on top of that, we're going to be replacing 66 lead pipes on the public side. During these reconstructions, 16 of which are on Wolseley. So as we rebuild the streets over the next number of years, we're going to be replacing the lead pipes that are under those streets for efficiency's sake. So I guess that's it. If there are any questions, obviously you can address them to the Urban Planning and Engineering Department. If you are on one of those streets and you have questions, you've probably gotten a letter. If you haven't gotten a letter, please reach out to either me or Urban Planning and Engineering. Yeah, and we look forward to doing at least this or more roads every year, because we do know that we have to catch up, and we're doing so as quick as we can.
Thank you, Councillor Kajawski. Who's next? Anyone else? No one else? Okay. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. And then we move to Finance and IT, 7A, Councillor Azarad.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the City of Côte Saint-Luc Council approves the attached list of disbursements for the period of June 1st, 2025 to June 30, 2025 for a total of $23,295,515 and 35 cents in Canadian funds. That Treasury Certificate number 25-0090 dated July 3rd, 2025 has been issued by the City's Treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Azarad, seconded by Councillor Kajawski. Any discussion?
Yeah, just a little background. So this month's disbursement is a little larger because we have our second AGLO payment, which goes to the City of Montreal of $19,036,470.53. And then above that, we have two disbursements with regards to Kerwin, one for the fence and one for the Park Chalet. And then the last payment for a capital repayment of $392,000. So that makes up the total of $23 million. That's it.
Thank you. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. We move to 7B, Councillor Kajawski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the City of Côte Saint-Luc Council hereby awards a contract for the purchase and installation of new video equipment for the Aquatic and Community Center to GAV Management, Inc. for an amount not to exceed $112,767.56 plus applicable taxes, that the described expenses shall be financed in whole from the city's working fund and be amortized over a period of 5 years, that the city shall provide every year out of its general fund a sum sufficient to repay the loan back into the working fund, that Treasurer Certificate number 25-0101 dated July 8th, 2025 has been issued by the City Treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Kajawski, seconded by Councillor Schuster. Any discussion?
So just briefly, I know this has been a long time coming, and it was kind of delayed several years ago for multiple reasons, but you can see what is being done on the public agenda, just a modernization of the audio video equipment at the ACC and the salons in particular, with new projectors, new audio equipment, just to improve the overall experience of our own programming that we have up there, as well as for those who are renting the space. So yeah, so we encourage people, obviously, if you do have those events and so on, that our spaces are for rent during particular times, and we're trying to take better advantage of our facilities to increase revenues for the city.
Thank you. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? No one opposed. Carried unanimously. And now we move into General Management 8A. Councillor Burku, request to support the City of Blainville in connection with Bill 93.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Attendez, je vais juste voir si... Okay, je vais lire la résolution. Attendu que le projet de loi 93, loi concernant notamment le transfert de propriété d'un immeuble de la ville de Blainville, a été présenté à l'Assemblée nationale du Québec le 27 février dernier par le ministre des Ressources naturelles et des Forêts, Madame Maître Maïté Vezina. Attendu que le projet de loi a pour objectif le transfert à l'État d'un terrain appartenant à la ville de Blainville afin de permettre un projet d'aménagement et d'exploitation d'une 6e cellule d'enfouissement de matières dangereuses par l'entreprise Stablex. Attendu que le 22 septembre 2023, I'm having a problem with the microphone. Attendu que le 22 septembre 2023, le Bureau d'audience publique sur l'environnement considère le projet comme étant prématuré et recommande au ministre de l'Environnement, de la lutte contre les changements climatiques, de la faune et des parcs, M. Benoît Charette, de ne pas autoriser en l'absence d'un portrait complet sur les matières dangereuses résiduelles au Québec. Attendu que la Ville de Blainville, la MRC de Thérèse de Blainville, la CMM de Montréal, l'Union des municipalités du Québec et la Fédération québécoise des municipalités s'opposent fermement à la réalisation du projet sur le terrain visé par le projet de loi. Attendu que le projet de loi prévoit qu'aucune norme édictée par la Ville de Blainville, par la MRC de Thérèse de Blainville ou la CMM de Montréal en matière d'aménagement, d'urbanisme, d'utilisation du sol ou de construction ne sera applicable à Stablex pour son projet et pour toute autre intervention nécessaire à ce projet. Attendu que le projet de loi constitue une atteinte sérieuse à l'autonomie municipale en matière d'aménagement du territoire et que son adoption constituerait un dangereux précédent. Il est résolu que la Ville de Côte Saint-Luc adopte ce qui suit. Appuie la Ville de Blainville dans ce dossier, exprime son désaccord en regard du projet de loi 93, loi concernant notamment le transfert de propriété d'un immeuble de la Ville de Blainville, réitère que les municipalités sont des gouvernements de proximité et demande au gouvernement du Québec de respecter leurs compétences en aménagement du territoire, demande au gouvernement du Québec de confier au BAP un mandat d'enquête et d'audience publique portant sur l'état des lieux concernant la gestion des matières dangereuses résiduelles. So, I so move.
Moved by Councilor Burgos, seconded by Councilor Kujawski.
Yeah,
Any
so
discussion?
I'm just going to explain that this is a resolution in support of the City of Blainville in connection with Bill 93, which is an act concerning the transfer of ownership of a city building to a private enterprise called Stablex, which is an operator that treats hazardous materials. And basically, we are standing in solidarity with the City of Blainville because we feel that the Quebec government is overstepping its authority by simply dismissing and ignoring rules and regulations that are in effect in Blainville, in the MRC of Thérèse de Blainville, and in the CMM of Montreal, of which we are one municipality. CMM is 82 municipalities, North Shore, South Shore, and the island of Montreal. And all the urban planning and land use rules are being ignored because the Quebec government is favoring this one private enterprise called Stablex. So we're voting to support the City of Blainville. Thank you.
Where's?
Do we have quorum?
Go ahead.
We have quorum?
Well,
Just,
and now
just to add, this could easily be Côte Saint-Luc asking for Blainville for support. This
Correct.
is a clear overstep
Yeah.
by the provincial government, and I think this is kind of linked to the next item as well. Yeah, I think we need to stand up for our fellow
And it
municipalities
also-
where there's overstep.
Yeah, and it also relates to what Councillor Cohen was talking about before in terms of Bill 96. I just wanted to mention that we are part of a coalition of 23 municipalities. In fact, we are leading this coalition opposing Bill 96. And so, yes, we should always be supportive of our fellow colleagues. What is going on? Everybody's moving.
Councilor Burku, I don't know who's leading that charge, but I would really recommend that all those municipalities that are part of this be invited on September 15th
Oh, sure.
to our event. Yeah.
Good idea, absolutely. Okay, so back to Blainville, all in favor?
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. We do have quorum, and that's fine. And then,
Okay,
Councillor Cohen, yes, he had an emergency meeting outside.
okay. And now Councillor Azarad, he's coming back. Okay. It's a lot of coming and going. Okay.
okay, now Councillor Azarad, 8B.
He's not here.
It's not here. Where is everyone?
I don't know what's going on.
Okay,
I don't know. I'll do it. I'll do
Do
it.
it.
I'll do it. Fine.
Oh, now he's back. I have to go too in a minute, but I'm taking a break.
I don't know what's going on. Okay, 8B.
After 8C, I'm going out for a minute.
Okay.
Sorry, thank
Go
you,
ahead,
Mayor.
yeah, Councillor Azarad.
Okay.
8B.
Be it resolved that the City of Côte Saint-Luc adopt the following to ask the government of Quebec, to ask the Quebec government to reinstate for 2026 and subsequent years the provincial tax credit for donations to municipal political parties and independent candidates. That a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the Premier of Quebec and MNA for l'Assomption, Mr. François Legault, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Éric Girard, the MNA of Réfontigny and Minister of Higher Education, Ms. Pascale Derry, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Ms. André Laforêt, the Union des Municipalités du Québec, the Fédération Québécoise des Municipalités, and all Quebec municipalities with population of 5,000 or more.
Okay, moved by Councillor Azarad, seconded by Councillor Schuster. Any discussion?
Well, basically, we're asking for the Quebec government to abolish this they abolished the provincial tax credit for donations, so we're asking to reinstate it.
Absolutely.
So for 2026.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Carried unanimously, and then we go to C, Councillor Burku. Resolution endorsing B'nai B'rith Canada's campaign to ban Nazi symbols. 8C.
8C.
And
And
thank you, Mr. Hank Tobas, for being with us tonight.
Yes.
From B'nai B'rith.
Thank you. Thank you,
And
Hank.
Sending this our way.
Okay, so, yeah, I think we should read it. Whereas B'nai B'rith is the country's oldest human rights organization and a key voice of Canada's Jewish community, whereas B'nai B'rith Canada has raised concerns about the increased frequency of the Nazi hooked cross, Hakenkreuz, and other Nazi symbols in our community, whereas the Jewish community in Montreal, among others, has experienced repeated incidents where such symbols have been used as tools of hate and intimidation, whereas municipal bylaw and regulatory services are responsible for ensuring prompt removal of graffiti and hate symbols, but lack sufficient legislative backing to address the proliferation of such hate imagery effectively, whereas 18 countries, including Austria, Belarus, Brazil, the Czech Republic, France, Germany, Hungary, Israel, Poland, Romania, Russia, Ukraine, and others have banned the display of the Nazi hooked cross, Hakenkreuz, and Nazi symbols in public, whereas B'nai B'rith Canada is asking the federal government to enact legislation to ban the Nazi hooked cross, Hakenkreuz, and other Nazi symbols, whereas several Canadian municipalities, including Whitby, Pickering, and Durham, as well as the province of Saskatchewan, have already passed motions endorsing B'nai B'rith Canada's call to ban these symbols. It is proposed that the council members of the City of Côte Saint-Luc hereby endorse B'nai B'rith Canada's campaign to ban the Hakenkreuz, the German word for the hook cross, and other Nazi symbols in Canada, and that a copy of this resolution be sent to the Prime Minister of Canada, the Federal Minister of Justice, members of Parliament representing the Montreal area and B'nai B'rith Canada to formally express the support of the City Council's support, and that a copy of this resolution be submitted to the Federation of Canadian Municipalities for its consideration in their policy development. That the council members of the City of Côte Saint-Luc hereby endorse B'nai B'rith Canada's campaign to ban the Hakenkreuz, the German word for the hook cross, and other Nazi symbols in Canada, except for historical, educational, and artistic uses, is strictly prohibited.
Moved by Councillor Burku, seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious why we're doing this. Just wanted to say that as I was sitting here, I did get one message, and I'm just going to read the headline. Canadian report uncovers widespread anti-Semitism for teachers who are calling Jewish students half-human. And this is going on in Ontario. The Office of the Canadian Special Envoy for Preserving Holocaust Remembrance and Combating Anti-Semitism published a report summarizing the findings of a federally commissioned survey on anti-Semitism in Ontario's K-12 school system. I think it's just as bad in Quebec, and we have many examples of what's going on. Before the meeting tonight, we viewed a video which was actually horrifying, and we kind of debated whether or not we should show that video, but I think those videos and all those reports are available online, so it's pretty obvious what we're doing. I see Hank has stood up, and maybe you want, by exception, because we do not allow for interventions during the council meeting, but you can definitely talk at the second question period. I don't think,
have to stay.
Yeah, well.
If he wishes.
Do you want him to speak now, or?
Sure.
Okay, so go ahead, Hank.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Wish to thank the mayor and the council for passing this motion. I think it is very important that not only that all municipalities do so, but municipalities of good conscience, such as Côte Saint-Luc, use your influence with other municipalities and other levels of government to get them on board. This is very critical as you understand what is happening today, that it is not only the far right that is making use, it is now the far left, and it is also other entities that are seeking to destroy Canadian society that are making use of these symbols to tear down all that we stand for. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming. And from the city of Côte Saint-Luc, we feel very sensitive. We have a very large Jewish community, and right now the feeling for many of our kids that go to school and the community at large feels under attack. The hatred that is being spewed and the symbols like the Nazi salute and the call for the death of all Jews is totally unacceptable and not related in context to anything that's going on that should be affecting a population, an ethnic or religious group, as was done in the Second World War, as we all know. And to hear those type of statements or those type of usage of the Nazi salute is very disheartening. So we are happy that you brought this resolution to our attention, and we'll continue to do what we can to educate the population at large as to the fact that we are a multicultural community that respects everyone, irrespective of their religion, ethnic background, where they came from, who they are. You're welcome in Côte Saint-Luc, and we have to respect each other here. And when our children or we go outside of the borders of Côte Saint-Luc, we hope that we receive the same type of respect. So thank you for that.
Mr. Mayor, can I add something on the
Yes,
subject,
thank
please?
you.
I just want to remind everybody that the Neighborhood Canada chose Côte Saint-Luc to have its head office. They previously had it at the Côte Saint-Luc Shopping Center, and Mr. Topaz, of course, kept it in Côte Saint-Luc at the Carrie Square. We work extremely closely. This council, I've been on this council for 20 years. We work very closely with the neighborhood. We're very proud that they've chosen Côte Saint-Luc to be their headquarters. And I think it is an example for people to understand that this council is very much on the ball when it comes to dealing with acts of hate and anti-Semitism in our community and beyond, and we don't take anything for granted. I appreciate the fact that Mr. Topaz is here tonight. He's been present at some of my buildings in recent months where we've had some issues, and I want to give him a little PSA for August the 18th. They'll be having their chip away at hate golf tournament in Beaconsfield, raising important funds to deal with issues like we're talking about today. And Elias Makos, I was with him last week at CJD. He is going to be the special guest. And by having someone like Elias Makos as a special guest at their event, issues like we're talking about now, Elias Makos has become an advocate for issues like this. He's got a wide audience of different cultures, and it's because of B'nai B'rith getting him involved that we have another voice in the media. So this issue we're talking about, I'm sure it'll end up on CJD, and that is extremely important for people out there to hear this. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Cohn. Thank you. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now, I am leaving the room for a moment so nobody else is allowed. You're going to do Human Resources, Deputy Mayor Burku. Human Resources, there's a whole bunch to do, so go through them.
OK, et je veux juste aviser ceux qui sont là pour la synagogue sur Bailey que vous êtes numéro 16 sur la liste. Alors, si vous avez la patience encore, vous êtes l'avant-dernière résolution. D'accord? Merci. OK. So, next. La prochaine item sur l'ordre du jour, c'est... Where are we? Excuse me. I lost my place. Okay. Okay. So, hiring of human resources. I'm going to ask Councillor Schuster to read the resolution.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the hiring of Anna Maria D'Andrea as a Director of Finance, one-year contract position, effective July 2nd, 2025, that Treasurer's Certificate Number 25-0092, dated July 7th, 2025, has been issued by the City Treasurer, attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Okay. And seconded by Councillor Kujawski. All those in favor? It's adopted. Item 9B, 2 public security agents.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Burku.
Thank you.
Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the hiring of 2 public security agents, part-time auxiliary white-collar positions as follows. Gregory Flynn, effective as of May 5th, 2025. Michelle Frenette Del Basso, effective as of June 13th, 2025. The Treasurer's Certificate Number 25-0093, dated July 7th, 2025, has been issued by the City Treasurer, attesting to the availability of funds to cover the described expenses.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Kujawski. And now, all those in favor? That's adopted. Item 9C, rehiring of an office agent.
Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the rehiring of Allison Siegel as an office agent, full-time, auxiliary full-time position, effective May 12th, 2025. The Treasurer's Certificate Number 25-0097, dated July 7th, 2025, has been issued by the City Treasurer, attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Seconded by?
Mitch.
Yeah, okay. Councillor Kujawski. All those in favor? It's adopted. Item 9D, hiring of a sport pickleball supervisor.
Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the hiring of Isabel Henley as a sport and pickleball supervisor, auxiliary part-time position, effective May 27th, 2025. The Treasurer's Certificate Number 25-0094, dated July 7th, 2025, has been issued by the City Treasurer, attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
And that's seconded by Councillor Kujawski. I have a question. Does she answer to Sarah Houle, or she, no?
I think I don't have the organogram in front of me, but
Okay.
I know she works closely with...
Because isn't Sarah Houle responsible for pickleball?
For pickleball, yes. So it's, Sarah could not cover the weekend time slots.
Oh, okay.
And so this is a staff that will assist Sarah.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that information. All those in favor? And it's carried. Item 9E, hiring an introduction to triathlon coach. Wow, that's good. Councillor Schuster.
Thank you. Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the hiring of Davida Liba Spitzer, as an introduction to triathlon coach, part-time management position, effective June 9th, 2025. That treasurer certificate number 25-0098, dated July 7th, 2025, has been issued by the city treasurer, attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Thank you very much. Seconded by Councillor Kujawski. All those in favor? And it's carried. And item 9F, 2 swim coaches.
Thank you. Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the hiring of Jaden Wiener and Lucy Convey as summer swim team coaches, part-time management positions, effective June 23rd, 2025. That treasurer's certificate number 25-0095, dated July 7th, 2025, has been issued by the city treasurer, attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Thank you very much. Seconded by Councillor Kujawski. All those in favor? It's carried unanimously. And item 9G, assistant head coach.
Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the hiring of Jocelyn McCann as an assistant head coach of the CSLA swim team, 1-year management contract position, effective September 1st, 2025. The treasurer's certificate number 25-0099, dated July 8th, 2025, has been issued by the city treasurer, attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Seconded by Councillor Kujawski. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. And finally, item 9H for the pro shop assistant to chalet attendant, title change.
Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council ratifies the title change of the position of Victor Weisgrus from pro shop assistant to chalet attendant, effective May 19th, 2025.
Thank you very much. Seconded by Councillor Kujawski.
There is
And-
discussion.
No.
Just briefly.
Yeah.
This is the attendant for the Kerwin
Yeah.
Chalet, Victor.
Right. Yeah.
So it should be noted that we are beginning to use the chalet, that there have been
Yeah.
beginner tennis lessons
Yes.
in the chalet, which
Yes.
I know you have witnessed, Councillor Burku.
Yes.
So that's great news.
I don't think that that's what it was meant for, but anyway.
Absolutely.
Okay. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Okay, the next 2 items, I was supposed to read, but maybe someone else wants to volunteer. Okay, Councillor Azarad, so resolution to establish remuneration for election officers. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Be it resolved that that for the 2025 municipal general election and until modified, the rate payable for the following election officers be established according to the table annexed herewith as Annex A to form an integral part of the minutes.
Is that it?
That's all I got.
That's all you got? Just let me see, 10A.
Something else?
Oh, okay. So that's the whole resolution? Oh, okay. All right, so seconded by Councillor Schuster. All those in favor? Councillor Benizri? Ouais. C'est pour les élections. Alors, on vote. Tous en faveur? Merci. It's carried unanimously. And the second one is awarding contract for professional services related to the organization of the 2025 municipal general election. Councillor Azarad.
Yes, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc octroie par la présente un contrat à Innovation Plus Inc. pour des services professionnels reliés à l'organisation des élections municipales générales de 2025 pour un montant de 32 667,59 sous, plus les taxes applicables. Que le certificat du trésorier numéro 25-0091 en date du 4 juillet 2025 a été émis par le trésorier de la ville attestant de la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites.
Merci, conseiller Azarad. Appuyé par la conseillère Schuster. Tous en faveur? Oui, on vote. Merci. Alors, c'est adopté. Next item is certificate of the city clerk. So, c'est à vous, Madame Tanguay, merci.
Oui, merci. Je dépose le certificat de la greffière pour le résultat du registre qui a été tenu concernant le règlement d'emprunt 2653. Donc, il n'y a eu aucun enregistrement, ce qui veut dire que le règlement est réputé approuvé.
Merci beaucoup. Et maintenant, on passe à l'adoption de la cédule des séances du conseil. Alors, le conseiller Azerad, pouvez-vous lire la résolution? Oh, on n'a pas de page pour ça? OK. Oh, hang on a second. OK, c'est adoption. On n'a pas la cédule? Oh, it's not in the package? Okay. So it's fine. We have it here, but we didn't get this schedule was not shared with the council?
It was shared, we met before review agenda at previous meetings.
Okay. No, I don't actually. It's I thought it was this, but it's something else. Has to do with asphalt. It's not a schedule. Do you want to put it to the end of the meeting? If you. No, they want to adopt the schedule.
Resolution would just state that you adopt the schedule.
Okay. So why don't you
Be
do
it
that at the end of the
resolved.
meeting? Why don't you do it at the end of the meeting, so once we have it? Okay? So that's 11A. And so now we go to Councillor Benizri. C'est à votre tour. On est dans les travaux publics. Pardon? Oh, 11A, yes. Okay. So 11A, bylaw, amending bylaw 2470 to regulate nuisance. Councillor Cohen.
Yes, I so move that I table draft bylaw number 2470-5 to be entitled bylaw 2470-5, amending bylaw 2470 to regulate nuisance. And that's all we're doing tonight, right, Director Schechter? We're just reading the tabling of it?
Just tabling, not adopting.
Right.
So we only need one member of the council to give them notice of motion and to table the draft bylaw. If you can just give a very quick synopsis. Okay.
Important.
It's very important for people to understand that when we talk about nuisance, we're talking about wild animals, it's not talking about cats.
Sorry, we're talking about wild animals, we're not talking about cats. I'm just scrolling down here so I can get the proper notes. So bear with me for a second. It's all the way down here. I would have kept it open if I didn't have to read the beginning of it, but I want to read it correctly. Yeah, I mean, that was the discussion earlier, but I had specific examples here, and I'm sorry, I'm just scrolling down. It's taking forever to get to it. Yeah, here I'm getting it right now. Yeah, sorry. It's really way down in the notes here, Director Schechter, so.
Come on,
Yeah.
just say I tabled
So I've tabled it, just so you know that there's, we're talking about the feeding of dangerous, of wild animals, and it does not include cats, but it does include skunks, it does include raccoons, it does include groundhogs, so on and so forth. And we're doing that for a reason. Obviously, I'm responsible for animal protection, and I care about animals, but I've been in people's houses, and Councillor Kajavsky was telling me an example that he has a raccoon basically living in his backyard, and they're very destructive, and once you start feeding these animals, they don't go away, and they can cause havoc in not only your house, but in the house of your neighbors. So we have to regulate it, and we'll have more to say next month.
I just want to add some, if you don't mind, I just want to add the following, okay? So what we've done is we've added a section which basically prohibits the feeding of wild animals, but notwithstanding that, a person participating in the city's trap, neuter, and release program shall be allowed to feed a cat. Notwithstanding the prohibition, a person is allowed to put up 2 bird feeders that are squirrel-proof and resistant to other wild animals. Notwithstanding the prohibition to feed wild animals, we can maintain a bird feeder, but not in an unsanitary condition. We're not allowed to leave on the ground any spilled seed for bird feeders without immediately picking it up. And we're not allowed to allow the accumulation of bird droppings on land, balconies, or any other structures. And it's obvious the reason we had to add these conditions is because some people were doing all these things that was making it very unsanitary and unhealthy. So that is the purpose of the bylaw, and we'll adopt it, I guess, at the next public council meeting.
I just want to add that when I was growing up on Wentworth Avenue in Côte Saint-Luc, my neighbor used to feed all the squirrels, and we didn't want to get our neighbor upset with us, so we were quiet for decades. He's no longer with us now, so I feel safe to tell the story. But he fed all the squirrels, and there was like a choir of squirrels on his lawn. And literally, when he wasn't there to give the food, they came to our lawn waiting for us to give us food, and we were frightened of them. So we don't want to have situations like that. So, John, if you're up there, sorry, but wasn't the right thing to do.
Okay, so is there a vote for this item?
No, it's tabling.
That's what I'm asking, councilors. Okay, all right, next, okay, Public Works, Council.
Public Works. No, Public Works.
OK. Merci, Monsieur le maire. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc octroie par la présente un contrat pour l'achat d'un chargeur sur roue avec équipement AJ René Lafont Incorporé, le seul soumissionnaire conforme dans le cadre de l'appel d'offres numéro C-15-25 pour un montant négocié de $178 157 plus les taxes applicables. Que les dépenses décrites ci-dessus seront financées par le règlement d'emprunt numéro 2650, que le certificat du trésorier numéro TC 25-0082 en date du 26 juin 2025 a été émis par le trésorier de la ville, attestant de la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites.
Proposé pour le conseiller ministre, appuyé par le conseiller Azurad. Est-ce qu'il y a des discussions?
Non.
Okay. Moved and seconded, all in favor? Okay. Carried unanimously. 12B.
Yes, merci Monsieur le maire. Juste, on va aller à la page. Est résolu que le conseil de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc déclare par la présente la soumission de René Blé Limité non conforme sur le plan technique et documentaire et cette soumission est donc rejetée. Que le conseil municipal octroie par la présente un contrat pour l'achat d'un chargeur usagé à Longus Équipement incorporé pour un montant total de $226 850 plus les taxes applicables. Que les dépenses décrites ci-dessus seront financées du règlement d'emprunt numéro 2626. Que le certificat du trésorier numéro TC 25-0086 en date du 25 juin 2025 a été émis par le trésorier de la ville, attestant de la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites.
Proposé pour le conseiller ministre, appuyé par le conseiller Azurad. Est-ce qu'il y a des discussions? All in favor? Carried unanimously.
Bien, merci Monsieur le maire. Je me rends à la page. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc octroie par la présente un contrat pour l'achat d'une souffleuse usagée à J.1 La Rue Incorporée, le seul soumissionnaire dans le cadre de l'appel d'offres C-17-25 pour un montant de 174 948 $ plus les taxes applicables, que les dépenses décrites ci-dessus seront financées par le règlement d'emprunt numéro 2626, que le certificat du trésorier numéro TC 25-0083 en date du 26 juin 2025 a été émis par le trésorier de la ville, attestant de la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites.
Proposé pour le conseiller ministre et appuyé pour le conseiller naturel. Est-ce qu'il y a une discussion? Tout le monde en faveur? Okay. Next one.
Oui, merci Monsieur le maire. J'arrive à la page. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc octroie par la présente un contrat pour l'achat de 2 véhicules pick-up électriques à PE Boisvert Ford Auto Limité, le plus bas soumissionnaire dans l'appel d'offres C-21-25 pour un montant total de 205 773 $ plus les taxes applicables, que les dépenses décrites ci-dessus seront financées par le règlement d'emprunt numéro 2649, que le certificat du trésorier numéro TC 25-0089 en date du 3 juillet 2025 a été émis par le trésorier de la ville, attestant de la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites.
Proposé pour le conseiller ministre et appuyé pour le conseiller. Jeff, est-ce qu'il y a des discussions? Oui. Go ahead.
Stephen's not here, so
Oh.
I'll speak.
Go for it.
This is
Mitch
electrical.
wants to talk.
And just to amend the background, so Public Works currently operates one electric pickup truck acquired in 2023, which has yielded satisfactory performance. And in the words of Stephen Early, just to mention, with the support and encouragement of Councillor Early, and I would say Councillor Kujavsky as well, the city has committed to expanding the public safety fleet and the Public Works fleet with more electric vehicles. So this is the purchase of 2 more electric vehicles. We have how many in public safety? I don't know right now. Stephen would know, but I don't. 2 vehicles and another 2 Public Works. Yeah, not pickup trucks, but sedans or little vehicles. And I think we're looking into one for urban planning as well for inspectors.
And I support it too. I have an electric vehicle and an electric bike.
And me too. And we have multiple city staff members with EVs and growing slowly. We'll work on everyone else.
So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we go to the next one.
Et merci, Monsieur le maire. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc octroie par la présente un contrat pour l'achat de 2 véhicules 6 roues à 3 Diamant Auto 1987 Limité, le plus bas soumissionnaire dans l'appel d'offres C-16-25 pour un montant total de 152 192 $ plus les taxes applicables, que les dépenses décrites ci-dessus seront financées par le règlement d'emprunt numéro 2649, que le certificat du trésorier numéro TC 25-0084 en date du 26 juin 2025 a été émis par le trésorier de la ville, attestant de la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites.
Proposé pour le conseiller ministre et appuyé sur le conseiller Kujavsky. Est-ce qu'il y a des discussions? Tout le monde en faveur? Tout le monde en faveur. OK. Pass. Next one.
Oui, merci Monsieur le maire. Je rends la page. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc octroie par la présente un contrat à camion Lucier, Lucicam incorporé pour l'achat d'une déneigeuse à trottoir usagée au montant de 29 000 $ plus les taxes applicables. Que Lucier Lucicam incorporé achètera de la ville certains de ces vieux véhicules pour un montant de 23 500 $, que la dépense finale de la ville sera de 5 500 taxes en sus, que les dépenses décrites seront financées à même le règlement d'emprunt numéro 2592, que le certificat du trésorier numéro 25-0088 daté de 3 juillet 2025 a été émis par le trésorier de la ville attestant de la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites.
proposé par le conseiller Ministry, appuyé par le conseiller Azerad. Est-ce qu'il y a des discussions? Tout le monde en faveur? Tout le monde en faveur. OK. Accepted. Unanimously. Next.
Voilà, je me rends à la page. Merci, Monsieur le maire. Est résolu que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc déclare par la présente la soumission de Robert Boileau, incorporé non conforme sur le plan technique, et cette soumission est donc rejetée. Que le conseil octroie par la présente un contrat pour l'achat d'une surfaceuse à glace électrique à Ango Équipement Serres Incorporé, le plus bas soumissionnaire conforme dans le cadre de l'appel d'offres C-18-25 pour un montant de 165 $22,50 plus les taxes applicables. Que les dépenses décrites ci-dessus seront financées par les règlements d'emprunt numéro 2592 et 2650. Que le certificat du trésorier numéro TC 25-0087 en date du 27 juin 2025 a été émis par le trésorier de la ville attestant de la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir les dépenses décrites.
OK. Proposé par le conseiller Ministry et appuyé par le conseiller Azerad. Est-ce qu'il y a des discussions? Tout le monde en faveur? OK. Accepté. Next.
Okay, I think this is the last one. Almost there. Voilà. Merci, Monsieur le maire. Est résolu que le conseil octroie par la présente un contrat terrassement technique Sylvain Labrec incorporé pour l'achat et la plantation d'arbres selon les modalités de l'appel d'offres numéro C-12-25 pour un montant de 46 305 $ plus les taxes applicables. Que les dépenses décrites soient financées du règlement numéro SUR 2025 PW01. Que le certificat du trésorier TC-25-0085 en date du 26 juin 2025 a été émis par le trésorier de la ville attestant de la disponibilité des fonds pour couvrir la dépense décrite.
Proposé par le conseiller Ministry, appuyé par le conseiller Azerad. Est-ce qu'il y a des discussions? Non? Tout le monde en faveur? OK. Passed unanimously. Next.
The other one, I think this is 13A.
Okay, so we did them all, and now
Yeah.
it's Dita.
Dita, exact.
Councillor Burke.
La page 603.
I asked the city clerk. There's a reason for it. Well, the city clerk, the city manager just told me to read it. And Councilor Kuczynski's contradicting. I don't understand this. What? Well, I, yes, I'm following the advice of the city manager. Thank you. OK. So, attendu que le 14 août 2023, à la suite de l'appel d'offres public, la Ville de Côte Saint-Luc a octroyé à les entreprises Québec 3 contrats pour des services de déneigement pour la catégorie 1, catégorie 2 et catégorie 3 pour les secteurs qui sont visés et pour une période initiale de 3 saisons hivernales 2023-2024 à 2025-2026 et 2 saisons hivernales optionnelles 2026-2027 et 2027-2028. Attendu que le document de l'appel d'offres prévoit à l'article 2.31 intitulé « Évaluation de rendement » que la Ville peut évaluer le rendement de l'adjudicataire ainsi que les critères sur lesquels l'évaluation se base. Attendu que le 12 mai 2025, la Ville a nommé la directrice de service des travaux publics pour évaluer la performance des entreprises Québec dans le cadre de l'appel d'offres, attendu que le 9 juin 2025, le conseil municipal a décidé de résilier les contrats octroyés aux entreprises Québec en raison du rendement insatisfaisant. Attendu qu'un rapport d'évaluation de rendement insatisfaisant a été émis à les entreprises Québec le 10 juin 2025 en vertu de l'article 573, paragraphe 2.01 de la loi sur les cités et villes, attendu que les entreprises Québec avaient jusqu'au... Attendez, je vais juste... avaient jusqu'au 11 juillet 2025 afin de transmettre par écrit tout commentaire sur le rapport d'évaluation de rendement insatisfaisant, attendu que les entreprises Québec n'a pas transmis ou n'a transmis aucun commentaire avant la date limite établie, attendu que le conseil municipal doit approuver le rapport d'évaluation de rendement insatisfaisant afin de pouvoir rejeter toute soumission des entreprises Québec pour une période maximale de 2 années. Il est proposé que le conseil municipal de la ville de Côte Saint-Luc approuve le rapport de rendement insatisfaisant émis à les entreprises Québec le 10 juin 2025, ce qui permet à la ville, à sa seule discrétion, de rejeter toute soumission provenant de ce fournisseur au cours d'une période de 2 années, conformément aux dispositions de la loi sur les cités et villes.
Proposé par le conseiller Burko. Appuyé par Councillor Cohen.
Affected my streets, among others.
Okay. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor? Carried unanimously. Okay.
I would like to make a short comment.
Sure,
Is that
go ahead.
appropriate?
You're allowed.
I will only say that when we had the issue with the snowstorm with Elan Ramon Street, is it appropriate that I, or would you rather me not?
Which one?
Okay, I'm going to let the resolution.
Okay, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried with Councilor Gajowski, dissent. Why? Anyway, okay, so the next one. That was, what item was that? What's the number?
13A.
13A, so now we're going to 14. 14A. Yeah, Councillor Schuster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I hereby table the highlight review of Recreation Summer 2025 special events, as mentioned previously in my report, including the Gardens of Distinction, the Wiffle Ball Field dedication, and in addition to that, the upcoming golf tournament.
Excellent. And the next is 14B.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I hereby give notice of motion to draft bylaw number 2633-2 to be entitled bylaw number 2633-2, amending bylaw 2633 concerning recreation tariffs of the City of Côte Saint-Luc for the fiscal year of 2025. So that was the notice of motion. I hereby table the draft bylaw number 2633-2 to be entitled Bylaw number 2633-2, amending bylaw 2633 concerning recreation tariffs of the City of Côte Saint-Luc for the fiscal year of 2025. Now, this is concerning the also aforementioned free tennis memberships for youth age 17 and under, and the reduced fee for accompanying adults of said youth.
Okay.
Seconded. I want a second.
Seconded by
Yeah.
Councilor Burko.
Yeah.
And.
Oh, you don't need a second.
All right, it's a.
We want a
She
second.
wants to speak to it. Go ahead. You can speak to it.
So I'm really pleased that we're doing this because we have probably one of the
Microphone
Oh,
on.
I'm really pleased we're doing this because we have tennis courts that are located in one of the most ideal locations on the island of Montreal, surrounded by greenery, by beautiful gardens, and close to Kerwin Park, with a pool, and they're separated, they're 2 by 2 by 2, as opposed to many other tennis courts on the island where you have 4 or 5 courts that are all grouped together and where it's intermingled. We have really a very special place called the Blossom Tennis Courts, and we need to allow our youth to enjoy them and to appreciate them and to, you know, really populate and be on the courts and help bring more people to the courts. So I'm very happy that we're doing this, and I think it's going to enhance the tennis experience for all those players and for the future to develop, you know, a culture of tennis appreciation in Côte Saint-Luc.
Very good. Thank you. All right, now we move on to urban development. It's your turn. Jeff, you get a lot to do. 15, 16, go, go, go.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 15A. Be it resolved that the Côte Saint-Luc City Council hereby awards a contract for the restoration of the ACC building envelope interior works to Pichet Construction for the amount of $278,919.85 plus applicable taxes. That furthermore, the city may consider an amount of $27,900 plus applicable taxes for any potential contingencies and extras, if required, that shall first be approved according to the city's procedures. That described expenses shall be financed from the loan bylaws number 2569, 2608, and 2623. That treasurer certificate number 25-0102 has been issued by the city's treasurer on July 8th, 2025, attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Okay, moved by Councilor Jafke, seconded by Councilor Schuster. Any discussion?
It's pretty self-explanatory. This is work on the ACC, so the interior work on the building envelope, and then there will be another phase of work related to the roof that we're going to award, I think, next month.
Okay. All right. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we move to 16.1. 6951 Côte Saint-Luc Road.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the site planning and architectural integration program showing the replacement of signage for BMO on the existing mixed building on lot 1561788 and prepared by Zip Signs for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of June 10th, 2025, be approved according to the provisions of Chapter 14 of Bylaw 2217 of the City of Côte Saint-Luc.
Okay. Moved by Councilor Jafke.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the image.
Yeah, not clear.
It's not going to look like that.
No. Seconded by Councilor Burko. Any discussion?
Yeah, so it's a little garbled there, but you can. Yeah, it's the BMO. They're just redoing the signage at the BMO. You can see on there the purple blues. So that's the areas that they're redoing. It's very straightforward, and we actually had renderings at night too. So it's
not
just an improvement to the signage at the BMO on Côte Saint-Luc Road.
Okay. So it's moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we go to 5500 Westminster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the site planning and architectural integration program showing the replacement of signage for TD Bank on the existing commercial building on lot 105-3802 and prepared by Zip Science for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of June 10, 2025, be approved according to the provisions of Chapter 14 of Bylaw 2217 of the City of Côte Saint-Luc.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Schuster. Any discussion?
Very similar to the previous improvement of the signage at TD Bank, this one on the corner of Côte Saint-Luc and Westminster.
All in favor? No one's opposed. Carried unanimously. And we go to 5510 Silverson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the site planning and architectural integration program showing a rear extension to the existing semi-detached single-family dwelling on lot 156-1747 and prepared by Hugo Concepcion for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of June 10, 2025 be approved according to the provisions of Chapter 14 of Bylaw 2217 of the City of Côte Saint-Luc.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Burku. Okay, Councillor Burku. Any discussion?
I don't know if we have it. Yeah, we have it up. Okay, so yeah, this is just a modification, or sorry, an approval of a rear extension at 5510 Silverson. You can see it there. There's just an under balcony entrance, new deck, and a change to the kind of side extension solarium. I don't know what to call it, a solarium, side bulge of the house. Extension.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we move to 7521 Mount Bat. 5558 Alpine?
Yeah, Alpine.
Okay, we do that one first.
Thank
And then
you,
we
Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the site planning and architectural integration program showing facade modifications to the existing detached single-family dwelling on lot 2090156 and prepared for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of June 10, 2025, be approved according to the provisions of Chapter 14 of Bylaw 2217 of the City of Côte Saint-Luc.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Burku. Any discussion?
These are just facade modifications, pretty straightforward to home on Alpine, addition of another patio door, and change to the side balcony.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we move to the next one.
That. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the site planning and architectural integration program showing a rear extension to the existing detached single-family dwelling on lot 105-3377 and prepared by Zitco Solariums for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of June 10, 2025, be approved according to the provisions of Chapter 14 of Bylaw 2217 of the City of Côte Saint-Luc.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski and seconded by Councillor Burku. District? No, it's not. Mountbatten, who's doing that one? Councillor Azarad. Any discussion?
Based on the resolution, surprise, surprise, it's a solarium. Very, very nice solarium. See the image above. Yeah.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And then we move to 5727 Leger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is related to the demolition that we had approved prior to the public meeting. So be it resolved that the site planning and architectural integration program showing the construction of a new two-story detached single-family dwelling following the demolition of the existing detached single-family dwelling on lot 105-2924 and prepared by Agape plus Alt Architects SENC for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of May 13, 2025, be approved according to the provisions of Chapter 14 of Bylaw 2217 of the City of Côte Saint-Luc.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski and seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion?
Yeah, so I think we had looked at the renderings and the demolition, right? Had we looked at them? I think so, yeah. So this is just another look. Really like very, very nice construction. I think it was very, very well received by the pack.
So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we go to conditional use.
was there, ma'am?
Or we do a minor exemption first? Minor exemption and then conditional use. So first minor exemption, 7521, Mount Batten.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that in accordance with the provisions of bylaw number 2632, the request for a minor exemption regarding the property located at 7521 Mount Batten, lot 105, 3377, be and is hereby approved, the whole as more amply delineated hereunder. The request is to allow the construction of a rear extension with a minimum rear setback of 6.30 meters instead of the minimum required setback of 6.73 meters, the whole notwithstanding the provisions of bylaw number 2217, Annex B, Zone RU25 and Article 443.
Moved by Councilor Kajewski, seconded by Councilor Azarad. Any discussion?
Very simple minor exemption for a 43 centimeter exemption from the rear land line.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we move to 5727 Leger, the minor exemption.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that in accordance with the provisions of bylaw number 2632, the request for a minor exemption regarding the property located at 5727 Leger, lot 105, 2924, being is hereby approved, the whole as more amply delineated hereunder. The request is to allow the construction of a new two-story single-family dwelling with a minimum secondary front setback of 3 meters instead of the minimum required secondary front setback of 4.57 meters, with a maximum building height of 9.15 meters instead of the maximum permitted building height of approximately 8.85 meters measured from the city sidewalk, as per zoning bylaw 2217, which states that the maximum authorized height of any building in the concerned zone shall be neither inferior nor superior by more than 25% in relation to the average height of the neighboring buildings located at less than 30 meters on the same side of the street, with 0 interior parking spaces instead of a minimum of 2 interior parking spaces when the dwelling unit's proposed area is greater than 167.22 meters squared, excluding the area of the garage and of the basement floor. The whole, notwithstanding the provisions of zoning bylaw number 2217 Annex B, Zone RU21, Article 441, Article 721A, and Article 1411-4.
Moved by Councilor Kajewski, seconded by Councilor Azarad. Any discussion?
Okay, so three minor exemptions, all fairly straightforward. The building height is going to be conforming with our new bylaw if and when we adopt it. That building height, very minor exemption of 30 centimeters. Setback 3 meters instead of 4.57. Which we have done many times before, and parking spaces is really just to not force a garage, so they'll have the exterior parking as opposed to garage parking.
Okay. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we move to conditional use, 6501 Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved to authorize the conditional use place of worship in the existing detached single-family dwelling located at 6501 Bailey on lot 2090238 and pursuant to conditional uses bylaw number 2616, subject to the following conditions. The installation of a plaque-type sign not exceeding 0.12 meters squared in area, complying with the provisions of zoning bylaw number 2217 in force. Waste management must comply with the provisions of the applicable municipal bylaw 2537 regarding residual materials. The building must comply at all times with municipal fire safety standards, the National Fire Code, and the building bylaw in force. Noise levels must comply with applicable municipal regulations. The use, quote, place of worship must be exercised in such a way that automobile traffic and street parking in the surrounding area is not significantly disrupted. Any modification to the total floor area of the building will require a new conditional use application. This resolution shall become null and void in the event of a change of occupant, and a new conditional use application must then be submitted and approved by City Council.
Moved by Councilor Kajewski, seconded by Councilor Burku. Any discussion?
So we did the first one.
Yeah.
Dita is very excited.
I'm
Councilor
very
is
excited. I
Just
really-
to note before you go, Dita, I think it's important to note why we are doing this, and every single point that I just said I want to say does not apply or as much for residential properties. So there's a reason we did it, and that's to make sure that the building is safe, to make sure that follows fire code, building code. There's a lot that a property with this use needs to follow that is above and beyond residential properties.
Okay.
I hope I didn't steal your thunder.
No, it's fine. So I agree with that we applied certain conditions because that's what we put in the conditional use bylaw. But this is actually the first, you are the first to get the conditional use approved. And this has taken a few years to come to fruition. In the case of Bailey, I would say over 30 years, because when I was first elected in 1990, Bailey was in use. The 6501 Bailey was in use as a place of public worship. And there was some litigation between the city of Côte Saint-Luc and the congregation. And the municipal court rejected the, how should I put it, there was, how do you call that? There was a court case, and the court rejected it, and so Bailey has always been used. I mean, I call it that congregation has always been in use since then. And we were trying to find ways to regulate it because obviously, and I always gave your synagogue, and then when I say your, I'm looking at you directly, as an example of a place of worship that is very much integrated into the community, that doesn't cause any inconvenience, doesn't cause any disruption. The issue of parking has never come up as an issue. The residents have, to my knowledge, never complained. I've been counselor for over 30 years, never received a complaint. So it's really a good example of a good neighbor, and very, very pleased, very happy that we were able to accomplish this with our, and we went through many permutations and combinations because we didn't know exactly how to do it, but we figured it out with the help of our legal counsel and with the help of the whole council to work it out for the 4 zones. And so this is the first zone to have a legalized place that is public worship in a residential building and with conditions. And that's why it's called conditional use. And those conditions, I'm sure, will be respected. We have received your plans. We have received all your proposals. And we're very pleased that we can now move forward. And so congratulations.
Yeah, and please extend my congratulations to your father, particularly our mom, Moyal, I was a neighbor living at 5576 Borden. My mom still lives there, by the way. So we were neighbors for many, many years. Always a very honorable man and always ran a very special congregation. And I wish him good health, and to your mom, and much success in the new, well, it's not new, in the old, now legalized place of worship. So we're pleased that we reached this stage. Very nice. And it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? So carried unanimously. It's approved. Thank you. And now we go to the next one. 6880 Haywood. 6880 Haywood.
Why have one? We can have 2. So, be it resolved to authorize the conditional use place of worship in the existing detached single-family dwelling located at 6880 Haywood on lot 156, 1871, and pursuant to conditional uses bylaw number 2616, subject to the following conditions: the installation of a plaque-type sign not exceeding 0.12 meters squared in area, complying with the provisions of zoning bylaw number 2217 in force. Waste management must comply with the provisions of the applicable municipal bylaw 2537 regarding residual materials. The building must comply at all times with municipal fire safety standards and National Fire Code and the building bylaw in force. Noise levels must comply with applicable municipal regulations. The used place of worship must be exercised in such a way that automobile traffic and street parking in the surrounding area is not significantly disrupted. Any modification to the total floor area of the building will require a new conditional use application, and this resolution shall become null and void in the event of a change of occupant, and a new conditional use application must then be submitted and approved by City Council.
Moved by Councillor Kajowski and seconded by Councillor Benizri. Any discussion?
Well, this is like Councillor Burku said, the youngest kid on the block versus the oldest kid on the block. So if I'm being honest, which I usually am, my first experience with 6880 Haywood, the synagogue there was not a great one. There were some complaints from neighbors. It was not extremely well received, I want to say, by the locals. However, that being said, there were significant adjustments, discussions, compromises, and I know now they're very much accepted by the community, with little issues like parking, which we had discussed in the question period, which we will find a solution for. If that is the largest problem with some parking issues, which we can easily solve, then I think we're winning.
Mr. Mayor?
Councillor Azra?
Yeah, if I could speak to you. Sure. So I'd definitely like to say we've gone a long way. I'm very happy that we've got 2 conditional uses passed so far. And one of the main points I think I'd like to push out to get all the residents is that today we had some people come up and ask some valid questions regarding, let's say, parking. But we have to realize before we got here tonight, I think we must have had quite a few votes, quite a few meetings, quite a few public sessions about all this. And this is why it's important for people to speak up and to be a bit more involved. I used to be the same. I used to not know what's going on until after the fact. So I think we all have a responsibility to be more involved in what's going on around our house, what's going on in the neighborhood. So that way, when we come up and we speak, we have, as a council, all the elements and all the data to be able to make the best decisions. And by having this information, we're able to meet and then discuss and get both sides to see that you need both to be able to work as a proper city. The synagogues that are opening up, that have opened up in some of the homes have been here longer, some of them, 2 of them specifically, longer than a lot of the people that are living in Côte Saint-Luc. So one for over 30 years, one for over 22 years, and some for, between 10 and 15. So it's very important that people speak up so that we can work through those issues, because we've proven here that it can be done. I don't hear too many complaints about any of the locations anymore. We don't hear too much of that, and I think a lot of the complaints were just coming out of frustration because people felt they weren't being heard. I think we were listening to everybody on both sides of the arguments and both sides of the belief system of whether it's needed or not. The proof is that they are definitely needed. Every one of them is bursting at the seams. So I think that they're serving a great service to our community. One of the biggest ones that I think is the most important is that a lot of the young kids, instead of being out in the street, are out in these synagogues, which are also study halls. They go there, they spend time there in the evenings, late afternoons, after school. And so I think it serves as a purpose to make us a better community. And the way we got here was because both sides were willing to sit down, listen, and talk. And it took us a lot of work to get here. And I'm very, very happy to have seen at least 2 of them already gotten to this point. Another one is on its way. And the 4th one I'm working with as well are making new modifications to be able to meet the standards that the city is putting. They're very high standards. Security was very big. How they're conducted, how they affect the surrounding neighborhoods. So I think all of those things were taken into account, and all of the synagogues, I think, did a tremendous job in getting to where the city wanted them to get to as close as possible without hampering their members. So I really think it was a great job done from both sides. So thank you to everyone.
So it's been moved and seconded. One more? Speak, sure.
Yes, I have to say that at the beginning of this process, I was skeptical as to what direction this was going to take. I sat down with Associate Manager Tanya Abramowitz and Phil Levy, who is affiliated with the Léger Schule. And it really took sitting down and listening to how these synagogues matter in our community and how each of them differ to start to change minds. And then we had a focus group with some more secular people who had their roster of complaints, and we did manage to address some of those, like parking. And I live close by to the Haywood Schule, and I have to say that every time I pass by, and I've spoken to the rabbi there, congratulating him on the tremendous upkeep that's being done at that particular location that I pass daily. And so I forget who said it, it really is about being good neighbors and trying to understand each other as individuals, as groups, and making this community enriched because of those efforts. Thank you.
So it has been moved and seconded. All in favor? No one's opposed. Carried unanimously. Congratulations. And now we go to stance at the Aglo, Councillor Burku. Stance at the Aglo. Or Councillor, okay, right, you can't do it. Councillor Kajafsky. Go to the
Mr. Mayor, be it resolved that council take the following stance in view of any agglomeration council meetings to be held in August 2025 as follows. To authorize the mayor or his duly authorized replacement to make any decisions he deems necessary and in the best interest of the city of Côte Saint-Luc and its residents regarding the items on the agenda of the agglomeration council meetings to be held in August 2025 based on the information to be presented during those meetings.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Kajafsky, seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion? All in favor? So that is carried. Now, for other, yes, go ahead.
So I was able to retrieve the formal council meeting dates, which I'm happy to read out loud and council can just adopt them.
We didn't have a schedule.
We have one in August and two in September still? No, what do we got?
We didn't.
Oh.
We didn't adopt.
Oh, where was I?
Resolution.
Because I have to retrieve the sample.
Okay, go for it. Go for it under other business. Do it.
City Manager, would you consider turning on the microphone for the record for this?
It's item 10. 10D. 10D. It's item 10D.
Yeah.
10D. And I was out of the room.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
So these are the dates that we are proposing that we had remitted to council for the regular council meetings in 2026. Monday, January 19th, Monday, February 16th, Monday, March 16th, Monday, April 20th, Monday, May 11th, Monday, June 15th, Monday, July 13th, Monday, August 10th, Monday, September 14th, Monday, October 5th, Monday, November 9th, and last but not least, Monday, December 14th.
Okay, thank you. So that's for the record. We've already passed that item. Okay, is there anything else other under business? I had one other thing. Oh, wasn't done?
Be it resolved that we adopt the schedule for the 2026 regular council meetings as cited by City Manager Schechter. Okay, seconded?
Seconded by Councillor Azarad. All in favor? It is carried unanimously. And now we have any other business? Before the second question period, I do have one other business that I wanted to mention, which is important. The Hydro-Quebec work that's being done around the Redwood area, there were different complaints that were received. One was about having parking passes not going for 2 or 3 days. So it was addressed and they gave now 2-week and 3-week parking passes instead of a few days at a time. There's also been issues of cleanliness and reports of people not following the deviation path in the area. So we have met with our Spiro and Mohammed, which are two individuals from urban planning who will be visiting the site. Engineering. So it's Mohammed, Ali, and Spiro Yodis, who will be going to the site every day, just to make sure that everything is being followed, and also to advise Hydro if we see that they're not breaking any of the rules, because they have certain rules that they're supposed to be following. It's a very difficult process, but it's good news in terms of improving our hydro grid in Côte Saint-Luc going forward, but it's a big inconvenience, particularly for the residents in the neighborhood. So they will be going every day to monitor and see if there's anything that is amiss for the foreseeable future, until we're comfortable at least that things are under control. We want, as I said, always safety and security is the most important thing. So in terms of traffic, people have to know they can't drive over sidewalks and go onto grass. They have to follow the deviation routes, and Hydro has to keep the place clean of any debris that could be dangerous for children. So that is the plan for the city in terms of verifying the work of Hydro as they go forward. And that's about it. Anything else? No? Okay, so the second question period, any other questions from the floor? So then I will ask for a move to adjourn. Councillor Schuster, seconded by Councillor Cohen. All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Bravo.